It begins, ladies and gentlemen. Whoop, whoop. Let's go. Oh, you have no idea. I was coming undone just now. I saw the button to press go live, and it was like, no, you're not going live. And I was like, oh, I'm sweating. All of a sudden, I'm sweating. It was the worst feeling in the world. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hitting up the chat. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to jump into some things. As you guys know, there have been some things that have gone on. Wolves in Finance basically said, guess what? I'm a kamikaze pilot. That's it. He just decided he was a kamikaze pilot. He doesn't care. I don't know what happened. Maybe the videos all of us made about Wolves in Finance, he built up a war chest. And the lawyer was just like, go ahead, big guy. I don't know what happened with Wolves in Finance. I don't know. He must have been listening to the national anthem. He must have went and listened to a JFK speech or something. I don't know what happened. He went from like, I'm very frightened. This is a very threatening letter. And all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Actually, I don't care. What happened? Did Candace send the money? Candace just dropped the 100 G's on him. Said, go Max. Go Max, big guy. Don't stop. I don't know. Something must have happened, straight up. I have no idea, but we're going to get into that. We're also going to get into something that I just had like a little realization about last night, which was just about Candace and these organized attacks on her. You know, a lot of us always move towards Philadelphia when we're talking about this whole thing, but when you really look at it, you could see somebody else who's kind of caught red-handed, like you see in the thumbnail. You see another organization. Now that organization could be a secret extension of Philadelphia. That could be. But you've noticed she's gone harder at Turning Point than she has Philadelphia, right? So let's jump in here really quick. We're just going to start it off. We got to jump into the meme bag really quick, guys. Crystal here just made this meme. We are the Ghostbusters, the Philadelphia Busters, probably. I think that's what she would call us. Let me turn up the volume just a touch. The Philadelphia Busters. Now, I will say, Baron is solid, okay? Baron got a very solid treatment, okay? But the rest of us got hit real bad. Let me see something. Let me see if I can just zoom in. Can I zoom in here? I want to zoom in a little bit. What is it? Control plus? Oh, yeah, there it is. It's not letting me zoom in like I want to zoom in, though. All I'm saying is, whoever got it the worst, this doesn't even look like me. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. It actually kind of does look like me. If I had hair. A little bit. They just made Candace look like an Asian lady, maybe Cambodian here. Baron just looks like Baron. But what they did to my man, Wolves in Finance, is absolutely crazy. Crystal, look what you've done here. Have you no scruples, Crystal? You just saw that and you were like, we're good. Post that one. Look what they did to the man. Come on. Absolutely ridiculous. I do like the suits, though, I have to say. I do appreciate the suits. Everything's zoomed in now. Now I got to change this. See, this is where you start to feel old because you're like, hold on a second. How do I work this whole thing? Yeah, what you did to Zach there was kind of wild that you did that to him. All good, though. Let's keep going. You know what? I have to dig into the meme bag again. There's so many. There's ones that I'm missing. Tag me again in the memes, but I have to dig in that bag again. The memes are almost as important as any of the stories that I cover, okay? Because the lore keeps expanding and expanding. Candace Owens said this. I don't know if you guys saw this. For those of you that are on X, you have no idea that she said this. Somebody was talking about that woman, Lori Carboza Moore, who sent Charlie that wildly threatening text message. Somebody posted about that, James Lee, and Candace had this to say. She said, the last month of Charlie's life consisted of Philadelphia routinely pressuring and threatening Charlie for his shifting views on Philadelphia. Were it not for me and the general public, those very same Philadelphians would have successfully staged a hostile takeover of his legacy. It should disturb you that for the right price, Turning Point was seemingly willing to bury all of this and instead welcome the very same people who tormented him in the end to his platform. I should not have been the one to tell you about the Hampton Summit. I should not have been the one to tell you about Josh Hammer. I should not have been the one to tell you about this donor or Bob Shillman or the fact that Charlie texted multiple people the night before he passed away explicitly stating they are going to kill me. But I am the one. And I made to do this all while sustaining attacks from the very people who purport to carry on his legacy. The entire world sees and every one of you, entire world sees every one of you for what you really are. You can kill a man, but you cannot kill the truth. So she said that recently over the weekend, and yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's pretty wild that it wasn't just Andrew. What a hero Andrew would look like if he did all this. Everything that Candace did, if he did it all, could you imagine? What would we think of Andrew, right? And he would have became the new Charlie pretty instantly, right? Imagine if his wife did it. That'd be something, huh? Very weird what's going on at Turning Point. But again, going back to what I was talking about, Greg Locke going after Candace. This has been going on. Calls her a wannabe Hitler in the modern age that would eradicate everyone if she could. Face of evil has a face and you're looking at it. And he's using Candace. What is this? Oh, that's my own phone going off. Jeez. 3,000 in the chat. Hello, 3,400. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for being here. Man. Yeah, that's the picture. What is with people using these terrible pictures? She's a pretty lady. You could just use a pretty picture. It's okay, They use like the old ones all the time. That one that you see. But Greg Locke, like I told you about Greg Locke, and wasn't that amazing? We have to make more content on Greg Locke, okay? Because he's just one of those preachers. He's one of those preachers that is clearly has a demon in him. Clearly has one in him. And no one can tell. It's one of the most remarkable things that you can watch. He's like dancing around. He's doing little jigs that you would see in movies when they would depict demons. And he's doing little jigs and he's like, rise up, rise up. And nobody says anything in the church. And then he's like, there's witches in here. I can smell them. I can smell them. And they're all like, this is normal. This is normal. Yeah. No, I love Greg. No, I love when he does this. Yeah, he thinks my wife's a witch. But, that's just him. That's just him. I'll try and convince him otherwise. Put her in a lake. Listen, put her in a lake. Okay? And if she doesn't come out, well, then I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay? But if she comes flying out, she's a witch. Come on, let's try it. Just a baseball bat covered in Bibles, Just amazing. But he's been attacking Candace for a long time, and I did not know this. He's saying to her here, you hate freedom. You're not fooling anyone. You're a Muslim. You're a communist. Candace is the enemy of God and the Bible. Oh, sorry. God of the Bible. Really, really crazy. So he's been doing this for a while, but it's not just him. And what I'm doing right now is going through the little network of people, okay, and seeing what they all have a connection to. This is him again saying, Qatari money. And I'm going to be going over Wolves and Finance really, really in depth, everything that he talked about. Qatari money gave Candace a #1 show. It was Qatar that did it. You and I, ladies and gentlemen, hitting that like button and watching the full videos through, we are Qatar together, I guess. Okay. Now watch as they dump her for being a total psycho. Her show will tank. Her public life will be burned to the ground. She will be exposed for lying about everyone else. This is very interesting. This is another one of those odd things that he's putting out there. Her public life will be burned to the ground. By who? What are you saying? What do you know that the rest of us know? What are you willing to do that the rest of us are not willing to do? And then it completely changes in 2021. It's wild how things change. I'm telling you, just when you think about her, you have to think about the now Prez Orange. You have to think about him because this is exactly what you remember that clip of him on The View and they're all kissing him. They're like, oh my gosh, come on, Donald, you're the best. And then it's just a few years later and they're like, he's actually Hitler. I don't know if you guys knew this. He just shaved the mustache. He actually is. And you're just like, oh, this is a big change. This is a big change for Greg too, right? This is how he used to talk about Candace. After the feud went down, Candace is still the voice of reason, class, and hope, and freedom. Cardi B is still a singing hooker. Well, I think we can kind of agree on that. I mean, a little bit. Not quite but I get what he means there. Then we also have Dave Rubin. We went over this over the weekend, I believe. I showed you guys what Dave Rubin did. He basically just made up a story out of nowhere. Him and Candace had a back and forth. Candace silenced him because she said, listen, I have receipts about everything I'm saying. Please don't make me release these receipts. Candace literally says, you will not survive this. But again, it's going from pastors to big commentators. And then obviously we have Candace herself talking about Tim Pool. Tim Pool starts working with the Washington Post. Like, you see how coordinated all this is? But it's not just that. And the reason that I turn to Turning Point in all this is because there were so many things that stood out that showed that Turning Point was at the heart of this. Now listen to this.
He says, Tim, I work in construction and experienced the same thing. My coworkers are all in on the Charlie Kirk conspiracies. If the Republicans lose in the midterms, I believe that Candace Owens is wholly responsible. She is one of the biggest podcasts on the right doing everything to go to war with the organization that helped get Trump elected. Turning Point specifically was going out and registering people to vote. Without Charlie, it's in trouble.
Now, this is something that Wolves and Finance actually touches on. Turning Point going out and getting people to vote. I did not know about this information that he's going to tell us. We got a few more slides here. Clips. Slides. I was born in the Turning Point, not the Turning Point era. The what's it called? What's that thing called? PowerPoint era. And then listen to this.
She has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event.
So there's one little hint there, right? All of a sudden, he's like, they invited me to my event when I started criticizing Candace. So I'm breaking it down for you guys, but you see Turning Point behind everything that's been happening. You know, Candace got mad that it was Andrew Colvett that actually is the one that's behind these things. She said she was getting pissed off with Andrew. But when you look at it, it's just Turning Point, right? It's not like all of them. You think Tyler's like, Andrew, please don't do this. And Erica's like, Andrew, please, you have to stop. It's Candace. Charlie loved her. You think that's happening in the background? And Andrew's just like, I have to do this. So I'm sorry, everybody. This is a man of steel, neck so strong, everybody would benefit from a neck like this. You think that's what was happening? No, obviously not. And then we jump over here. Then we get to Gary from Paramount Tactical, the hardest working person for Candace, in my opinion, and Barron's opinion.
I asked him, hey, do you have proof of this? He says, but it's worth saying Erica wasn't in some fort in Tucson. The internet's gone insane. She woke up next to Charlie on the 9th, went to the office with Charlie all day, woke him up from a nap before a fox hit, went to dinner with Charlie. Literally, people are lunatics. And then the next one, I will show you guys that one.
So he wasn't supposed to show any of this. Everybody remembers this crazy misstep that Gary had, but he's literally working in the background. Also, just to that clip really quick, he just said that Andrew said that she woke up next to Charlie, but also there's a story that I think she tells that she is in bed with their daughter and Charlie comes and she says, you go sleep in her room so you can get a good night's sleep. I just want you to get a good night's sleep. And that's the reason they didn't even get to see each other off in the morning, because he kind of just woke up, got his stuff, and had to head out the door. So that's very interesting. So they're telling Gary about this story that, is opposite from the story that they've already put out there. But, again, I'm just painting it. It's like Turning Point is behind Gary from Paramount Tactical. You go to Gary's page on X, it's all just every single other I don't think he even posts anything that's not about Candace anymore. Again, he's like the bizarro world me, instead of being black, he's a ginger, instead of knowing how to podcast, he shares things he's not supposed to share, he's like, he never wears a hat, right? He has the headphones on, but he puts them on like this. It's bizarro world me. It's very interesting to see, but he's steadily doing that. Tim Pool realized, or maybe they realized, Tim Pool's stuff wasn't working. He was getting it was just ridiculous, too performative what he was doing. Then also, just to say this, and I covered this already, and I don't play clips of Balak's tones, but even Balak's is like, I've been working with Turning Point. I've been getting information from Turning Point. I've been talking to them. So it's like, and then what does Balak's do? He goes on this vicious attack. What does Tim do? He goes on this vicious attack. He gets invited to an event. Balak's is getting whatever he's getting. He's $14 trillion in debt. His debt is higher than the national debt, $40 trillion in debt. So he's trying to work that out. I don't know if he got anything. Not saying that. Allegedly. Maybe, perhaps. But, doing it for free would be crazy when you're in $1,900 trillion in debt. When you're just in a quintillion dollars in debt and you're doing it for free? I don't think so. I'm just saying. I know I wouldn't. I'd be like, I actually, guys, I love Turning Point. Yeah, Charlie, I really do. I'm 19 quintillion dollars in debt. Okay. I was just hoping just a little check, anything helps. Just $100 million. No, it's 7,000 even still. Okay. I'll take the 7,000. Balak's, he's the worst now. He's absolutely the worst. And I don't know who else could have been working with Turning Point, right? This is also Gary just talking about him not being able to be corrupted.
Narrative. Like, they come after you in ways like there's guys trying to say, oh, look, we're going to do a background check on you. Like, search away, dude. I've had top secret clearances and other jobs. Like, I'm clean. I don't search your little hearts out. I don't take any money. I don't do anything like that. Like, I am not influenceable. All right. I'm not. Period. All right. Unless you had my kids. The only time that I would get up here is if somebody had my family and was like, if you don't say this, we're going to do something to your family because we have them in custody. All right. That's probably the only way that you could.
That's probably the only way. Hey, Gary, are there any other ways? Yeah, there's dozens of other ways. I was just listing off one, but there's many others. Oh, is there? Okay. You usually say there's no other way. He's like, and that's probably the only way. Gary, what if somebody offered you $100,000? Oh, 100,000? Gary, you're taking too long to answer. Are you okay? I think I would. What if someone offered you a steak dinner? Oh, I love steak dinner, big guy. I don't know if I can resist a steak dinner. Can we do it on the Egyptian plane? I love the thought of Gary just gathering everybody up onto the Egyptian plane. It warms my heart to think of that. And then we also have Gary being clearly propaganda for Turning Point. This is literally when Turning Point said, hey, ceasefire, you and Erica are going to sit down, right? And I'm just showing all this because we keep going. We got Rod Schneider.
Because Candace had a dream about it. All of Candace's dreams come true, especially the dream she had when she was a little girl about one day becoming the biggest grifter the internet has ever seen.
You see what I mean? It's like, it's very odd. All of a sudden, he gets to be on stage at Turning Point. What kind of agreement did he have? I don't even think it's financial. It's like, hey, will you make fun of Candace? I don't know if that's actually what happened, but it seemed like it. It was weird how many people got on stage to make fun of Candace about an event that's supposed to be about, politics, supposed to be about conservatism, supposed to be about Christ and faith and things like that. all of a sudden the focus became on Turning Point. And then, you know, obviously we get to Turning Point Faith. We all saw that. I mean, that one black pastor that I covered who's like, this is a dastardly deed. This is a dastardly deed that Candace is pulling off right now. Guy was saying dastardly like he's from the 1920s. Hey, boss, this is very dastardly. Hey, boss, what she's doing? I don't think she should be doing what she's doing, boss. I don't know, boss. This is very dastardly. What's going on here? Rob McCoy's like, that's right, son. It's dastardly. It's dastardly. Go pick me enough so I can make a sweater. Go ahead. I'm joking. I'm black. I can make that joke. It's fine. Turning Point Faith. The Turning Point Plantation. I'm kidding. Can you imagine they started a plantation? Guys, we have a lot of money. We have the endowment. We have Turning Point Action. We're about to start the Turning Point Plantation. Okay? Come on, everybody. Officer Tatum's out there. Officer Tatum's out there. Oh, man. I got to say, this is all right. This is all right. When I was in Philadelphia, they only spit on me once. I got to say, this is all right here. I don't see what the problem is. I don't know what we were complaining for. I'm joking. Come on. Officer Tatum wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. Then you have Frank Turk here saying, shut up. And I won't even go through that clip. But all I'm saying is it seems like Candace was going way harder at Turning Point than she was Philadelphia. I mean, look at the whole investigation. Does it point? Is she going and pointing at Philadelphia? Or is she pointing consistently at Turning Point? And then all these attacks roll in and you see that they're connected to people at Turning Point. They're saying they are. Balix said this. I'm not saying it. I'm repeating what Balix said. He said he was connected to Turning Point. That didn't make any sense. Gary is showing us mistakenly that he's connected to Turning Point. Rob Schneider is on stage there, for him to get that stage time. They are the ones that are doing it. And when they didn't get their way by doing these things behind the scenes, allegedly, maybe, perhaps, their mask came off and then they started doing things which we all know about. Candace got her letter. Wolves in Finance got his letter first. Candace got her letter, I think a day after or something like that. Maybe 2 days after, something like that. Right? When they couldn't do it in secret, and this is a lot like Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire, when they couldn't do it in secret anymore, they decided, you know what? Let's just do it in front of everybody. And in fact, let's do it to these two people in order to intimidate everybody else, really scare everybody else. And hopefully that will stop people from asking questions about us. That will stop people from looking into the money. That will stop people from making these videos. Because if it happens enough, they'll do it to Candace because Candace has already hit the Streisand effect. But if they do it to the rest of us, you'll see. I mean, Wolves in Finance, he was at like 360 subscribers or something like that. I think he's almost at 400,000. That was yesterday. I mean, it was like 30,000 subscribers in a day, something wild like that. I mean, if they want, listen, I'm going to hit 1 million either way, but if that happened, it would definitely give me a boost. Yeah. Same with Jesse, same with Ian, same with Barron. Millions coming, but they would just push us into a different stratosphere if they did that type of thing to us. So they focus on those people first, right? Now, let's jump into Wolves in Finance, everybody. 6,800 people. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit that like button. You have no idea how much it helps. Wolves in Finance. Hey, I'm going to let this disclaimer sit here for a second. Wolves in Finance, he may have figured it out. Let me just let that moment of silence for the disclaimer, please, ladies and gentlemen. He might have figured it out. Views and opinions are expressed or public information and cited. Hey, listen, I don't even have to read it. It's on my video. All right, I'm good. I'm dodging those letters like Neo. Maybe, allegedly, perhaps. I'm dodging them, baby. We gotta dodge him out here. But let's play this. This is an absolutely epic intro, okay? Epic intro. I love this so much. I mean, this is Baron Coleman opening statements level intro that this man has here. I absolutely love it. Nothing better than seeing somebody stand up. And this is legit bravery. Let's get into it. Moment of silence for the disclaimer.
Last week, I received a cease and desist letter from Turning Point. This is the first step in a lawsuit. If I post this video, Turning Point will likely sue me and try to destroy my life. I have a choice to make. I can speak the truth, but it will cost me everything I have. The corrupt Turning Point executives have forgotten something. In 1941, Pearl Harbor was attacked by Japan. Hundreds of Japanese planes destroyed much of the U.S. fleet and the planes on the ground. The attack was such a surprise, most U.S. planes on the island were not able to take off. But a handful of brave U.S. pilots, without orders, jumped in their planes, managed to take off, and engage with the enemy. One of them, Philip Rasmussen, was still in his pajamas. This is how he describes the attack in his own words. "I was in my pajamas, and I yelled down the hallway that we were being attacked by the Japanese. And I ran to my room, and I strapped a webbed belt around my waist and a .45 caliber pistol in my holster that was on this belt, and put on a pair of shoes and ran for the flight line." A handful of U.S. pilots faced off against hundreds of Japanese planes. That is courage under fire. And they kept Pearl Harbor from being even worse. 2,403 Americans died in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Being brave is part of what it means to be an American. That is something that Charlie Kirk understood, and it's something that I try to live up to. I owe it to those brave Americans who gave their lives. So I have one message for all you patriots out there. It's time to fly.
Man, this guy, what happened? What happened? He was like in fear of his life with the first video that he released when the letter came down. And now he's just like, it's time to fly, MFers. Which one of you MFers is coming with me? We're not playing games anymore. That's, yeah, man, just incredible. And look at you complaining about ICE. Look at all you. I don't mean the enforcement people, ICE. I mean, and you know what? I think I'm going to talk about that because it's pretty wild what's been going on. But I mean actual ICE. I mean ice on trees and things like that. Complaining about being iced in, right? Look at Wolves in Finance here. Look at him. Look at him. I can't wait for Candace to talk about this. I mean, I think she has to. Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. I feel like she will when she goes live. But let's jump into all the things that he's talking about. Now, this actually goes pretty deep at some points because there's a certain point where he becomes one of us. I mean, he starts reading handwriting and stuff. I was like, oh, he's going deep. He's going deep. He's not the finance guy anymore. Anyway, let's start off here.
Since I started posting videos about financial irregularities at Turning Point, I have been viciously attacked. One of these people is a lawyer named Robert Barnes.
It says, any comment on the financial fraud that Wolves and Finance has pointed out? I know your answer to this, Robert.
Wolves and Finance is a big fat fraud. He's a joke. He's a disgrace. He's a liar. Liar about the records at TPUSA. He falsely stated that the TPUSAs didn't have an address at a place, basically a mail drop at a location. He was lying about it. It was right there. It's like, oh, I came to the mall and there's nothing here. It must be totally fake business. Everybody uses mail drops for the most part. And if you're TPUSA, you have very good security reasons for doing so. And he just lied about it. Wolves in Finance, fraud, fake, phony. That's all he is. That's all he's ever going to be. He lied about how tax law works. He lied about how charitable law works. He lied about what TPU. He's like, look at this TP Action 2024 has made a bunch of money. Maybe they made it in secret from Charlie Kirk. It was their get out the vote operation for 2024, you nitwit. I mean, he just lied about every basic thing. Wolves in Finance, big fat fraud. He wants to get into the clickbait whore world with Candace Owens, who's the queen of the brothel there. And that's all he did well, and that's the only thing he did right.
Let me tell you what I think of Robert Barnes. I actually really like the guy. I've been a fan of his for a long time. He's a lawyer, he's an expert on constitutional law, and you have to respect that. That clip was from the Viva Fry podcast, which is a podcast that Robert Barnes is on a lot. I also really like Viva Fry. Viva Fry is one of the few podcasters that is brave enough to accurately cover the pipe bomber story, which is something I care a lot about. Robert Barnes also has a long resume in his legal work, including working on the Alex Jones defamation lawsuit.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something really quick about this Rob guy. And yeah, I didn't want Balix on the screen, okay? But let me tell you about this guy. This really quick. This just real quick, because Wolves is being very nice to both of these gentlemen, and I don't know why. Listen, I don't know why so many people are favorable of this guy. I don't get it. I've tried to watch the videos. I don't get it. I see him just like I see Tim Pool, just like I see this gentleman here, okay, with his little conductor hat on, like he's George Carlin in the Shining Time station. This guy, this right here is not likable.
Your answer to this, Robert?
Losing finance is a big fat fraud. He's a joke. He's a disgrace. He's a liar. Liar.
Oh, you say that on my show, you got to leave. I don't know. Why is he going through this? Someone looks at me and says, you leave. I got to go, man. I got to go. I'm closing the window. Sorry. I'm going to do my own episode because, okay, I'm getting heated. Okay. I'm getting heated. I apologize. All right. But this guy to me reeks this whole thing. Okay, I know some people really like this guy. I don't care. This whole thing reeks of MSNBC. This is exactly how MSNBC conducts themselves. I'm going to ask you this question, and I already know the answer because we went over this. What do you think about this election? Well, let me tell you, it seems like Kamala's up against Hitler. Okay. It reeks of that exact same thing. He doesn't prove anything. This is like Joe Scarborough level stuff. Doesn't prove anything. Just says he's a liar repeatedly. Calls him a nitwit. Calls him a bunch of names. And that's it. And we're supposed to trust him because he has the branding of a lawyer. That's it. That's what's going on there. It's just ridiculous to me. I don't know. That's just me. I know some people really like this Viva guy. I don't know why. Okay? Sorry. I have no clue why. And I don't know why Wolves and Finance is being so charitable to these two guys. I like to be charitable, not to stuff like this. I'll be more charitable than Gary. And at this point, I think Gary's a bona fide Fed. I'm still more charitable than Gary. He's a fun time, Gary. He's a very fun guy. Seems like it, at least, you know? Anyway, let's keep going here.
Get into the clickbait whore world.
Jeez. Just so gross.
But I still like the guy. I can't help it. He's just a likable person.
No, he's not.
Now, obviously, he's wrong about me. Anyone who has seen my videos knows he's clearly misrepresenting what I'm saying. But I'm not going to hold that against him. Everyone is allowed to have a bad take once in a while. I'm not going to let it bother me. He's allowed to have his own opinion. What he's not allowed to do is argue with the facts. Robert Barnes went on a podcast called Paramount Tactical, and they discussed a letter that was allegedly sent from the IRS to Turning Point.
Do you see the web of things, right? So this guy, this is Robert Barnes here, you know, he's going on one podcast saying, oh, he's a liar. First off, why even have that conversation, right? Doesn't really make sense to sit down and have that. You really have to think of that when you think of podcasting and the way things work. Why are they having this conversation? What is it really amounting to? That's why I say it reeks of MSNBC, because every time MSNBC sits down with somebody, it's for a reason. It's to shape public opinion. It's to put out a smear against somebody. That's exactly what they were doing here. And then you see the link that I brought up of Gary, and you can see Gary, you literally see Gary in that clip working with Andrew, which means that they have contact. And now Gary is on this whole thing where everything is about dispelling anything that Candace says. There's some kind of connection there. And then you see this guy doing the exact same thing. This guy's also friends with Tim Pool. You know what I mean? It's like there's this whole web of people allegedly, maybe, perhaps, that Turning Point kind of just, I'm not going to say has on the payroll. I can't say that, okay? All right? But something's going on. Maybe they all just maybe Mikey McCoy walks in the room every now and then, right? You're about to talk about something with Andrew, and then Mikey McCoy walks in and says, "What's going on, Andrew? Who's this great guy? What's your name?" My name's Gary. You're Mikey McCoy, right? I am. And it's great to see you, pal. I really like what you've been doing. I hope you're willing to talk with us more often here. Turning Point really, really likes you. Oh my God. Thank you, Mr. McCoy. Anytime you want to have a steak dinner, please let me know. Hey, big guy, I'm not going to do that, but I liked seeing you today. Andrew, have a great day. And then he just flies away because he's an angel. He just ascends. I'll see you later. I'm going to heaven. Goes to heaven, comes back down when he wants. He's surpassed death, okay? He defeated death. Walked away for our sins, the great Mikey McCoy. Let's keep going.
All right. So that is just kind of the tip of the iceberg as far as the allegations. I know that Wolves and Finances have kind of brought to the fore against TPUSA. And Robert, I know I actually got some of the documents, the letter from the IRS to Erica Kirk and TPUSA that talks about what their situation is as regards to the IRS.
This letter has been floating around and reported on by mainstream news outlets like CBS. Except the letter itself has never been shown until Paramount Tactical's podcast. In fact, I'm guessing he was not supposed to show this to his audience because it is quite shocking. It is a 2-page letter on Department of the Treasury letterhead. It says it is responding to a request from Erica Kirk. It says, 1, there is no IRS investigation currently underway on Turning Point. 2, all 4 990 forms were filed by May 15th, 2025. 3, the next year's forms will be filed by May 15th, 2026. The letter is signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Paramount Tactical is presenting this letter as some kind of evidence that there is no fraud at Turning Point. That is ridiculous for a number of reasons. We all know this because all of us deal with the IRS. We all know this is not normal behavior. Have any of you ever received a letter from the IRS saying, "Just letting you know, we're not doing an investigation on you"? No, of course you have not, because the IRS does not do this. And it's not coming from the IRS. The letter is signed by the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent.
You know, allegedly, maybe perhaps this guy punched Elon Musk in the face. Isn't that crazy? That's a story that, that came up in the White House in a press conference. They asked if it was true, and he's like, "I don't know." The Prez Orange was like, "I don't know. They're both great guys. I don't know what happened." It was like apparently there was an actual fight between these two. That's what the deal is. And this guy didn't back down. Didn't back down at all. Dealt with Elon Musk. Elon Musk apparently tried to push him with his shoulder, which is just unhinged behavior, just straight up unhinged. That's something that you would do if you had like a Neuralink chip in your brain or something like that. And Scott was like, "Do you know what admin this is? We don't play this stuff." And he just hauled off, punched him in the head. I'm just saying, I know it's off topic, but they say that's what happened.
To me, this looks more like a political favor to Donald Trump's personal friends than a legitimate IRS communication. Second, the wording in this letter does not mean anything. Just because the IRS is not investigating does not mean there is no fraud going on. This does not mean that donors cannot sue Turning Point to get their money back. This does not mean that state attorney generals cannot file criminal charges against Turning Point executives. This letter does not disprove my concerns about their finances. And what is this? What is this? At the top of the page, someone has crossed out Mrs. Kirk and wrote in Erica. It looks like someone is proofreading Scott Bessent's letter. Who could that be? I have reviewed so many White House documents, and in my opinion, that handwriting looks like it was written by Donald Trump.
Now, this is very interesting. This is what I'm talking about. This is where he gets into some deep waters. He's like, this is the thing that they're going to use to impeach him. He's like, this is the thing they can use. And I think that's kind of wild, but then somebody actually started looking into, the handwriting. Okay. Diligent Dennison started looking into the handwriting as well, because, it stood out to everybody. So people are talking about, after analyzing the handwriting, it actually looks like JD's handwriting. Now, what Diligent actually says here is that he says when it comes to Scott, it's only like a 10% match. 10% match for the now Prez. Prez tends to do all caps in his handwriting, et cetera, et cetera. They say, however, it's a 90% match when it comes to JD, which is nuts. But here's why it kind of makes sense to me. Who is going to be running in 2028, right? Who is Erica saying that it's coming up in the video. Who is she trying to get in office for 2028? Who's Turning Point backing, right? Of course, Charlie was going to back JD. You know what I mean? So it's very, very possible, allegedly, maybe perhaps, that JD is the one who actually corrected this, right? And everybody knows how close he and Erica are, so he doesn't call her Miss Kirk. He's like, get that Miss Kirk out of here. That's Erica. I don't know. It's very interesting. But I could see that happening, because would the Prez be dealing with that, or would someone like JD be dealing with that? I don't know. I think JD would be dealing with something like that. And that's just me. But who knows? Wolves in Finance thinks it's definitely Donald. So there you go.
He's getting involved. And I'm saying this as someone who likes Donald Trump, and this letter deeply bothers me. People have a right to be upset about this. Turning Point has been raising millions of dollars from donations. Most people don't know what has been happening with the donations. I received a message from someone named Margaret. Like many other people, she donated money to Turning Point USA because she was moved by Charlie Kirk's death. She was told if she gave a donation that she would receive a hat as part of their fundraising effort. Here's the message. Thank you for your contribution to Turning Point USA with the official Turning Point email address. And it says, shipping of your hat could take up to 10 to 12 weeks. She donated on September 16th. 12 weeks would have been the second week in December. Margaret has never received a hat. Instead, she received this card with a rubber bracelet. They are sending bracelets to people instead of the hat they promised. And this is not an isolated incident. Here is a Facebook post. Made a $25 donation to TPUSA back in September that was supposed to come with a 47 hat free for making the donation. Never got hat. Tried texting them and calling them several times and have not gotten response. Did get one response from someone named Anika, who said she had no record of the transaction. Have sent them copies of my receipt with no response. Called and left my name and contact info on their voicemail because they never answer the phone and they don't even call you back. Loved Charlie Kirk and watched him religiously, but this has totally disappointed me. Will call my bank and see if I can get reimbursed for the donation. And the replies are full of comments saying the same thing. All I got was a bracelet. We got a bracelet, no hat as promised. Got a cheap rubber band bracelet and no hat. That's a big way to turn people away, just make false promises. Same thing happened to my husband, no hat, gave a donation back in September. And it goes on and on.
How pissed is Wolves in Finance? He's going and finding replies about people not getting. He figured that. I've never heard anybody bring that up before. Now he's like, forget the money. He's like, you know how many things I can find out about you guys? He's going max. Look at him. Just put go max right under here. He's going max. He's like, you know what? I never really considered going max until the day I got this letter. It's wild. You know what he's having? This is like when Candace got her letter from Brigitte or Emmanuel. When she got that letter, she was like, oh, I'm going to make 30 more episodes now. That's what you get for making. You bring this up? You're suing me? You're doing what? Okay, we're doing a whole series. That's it. I'm making merch about you. Release the ET memes. That's it. He's having this moment right now where he's just like, I'll look into anything. You know how much time I have? I'm an accountant, yeah, but like I do this on the side. No problem. Let's figure out if you guys are really giving people hats like you say. Wow. And listen, that's a real thing. You guys know, as a bald person, I am partial to a nice hat, okay? If you tell me you're giving me a hat, I'm waiting for a hat, okay? I don't need bracelets. I don't like bracelets all that much. I wear this one. These are my wife's hair ties. I steal them from her. It's more of a victory thing, in my opinion. But that's what she gets for leaving them everywhere. So I take them. And I build them up. They're mine. They're mine now, you know? But you tell me I'm getting a hat. I'm expecting a hat. And I want to see how it fits. And I'm going to wear it. Okay? When I went to Buc-ee's and I said, hey, need a hat? They said, we got you. They didn't come back with a bracelet. No. They came with a hat. I should have bought 10 of these hats, man. I only have one. I'm wearing it out. Anyway, let's keep going. But yeah, could be JD with that writing. Let's move on to the next one here. I don't want to play his whole video, you know. But I do want to make sure that people actually see this like a lot. So I'm trying to play, you know, as much as I can, really. Because I think people really need to see this whole thing. Why do I have this guy pulled up so much? I just like doubled it every time. Okay, so let's go to the part which part is this? Okay, that's the hat part. Let's move away from the hat part. Man, what he says about Tyler Boyer is crazy. Crazy what he says about Tyler Boyer. Let's go to 16 minutes. We're there. Let's go.
I wonder what these students are doing that costs $8.6 million. We're going to get into that in a minute. The other obvious question for most
9,400 in the chat. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Double yourselves, okay? Double yourselves so we can get to 10,000. I don't know how you do it. Figure that out in the chat. Let's keep going.
people is, how does Turning Point get involved in so much political activity? The only companies that are allowed to do political activity are up to 50% of Turning Point Action and Turning Point PAC. What happens in the real world is that a lot of 501c3s will perform what they call get out the vote efforts, or voter education. This is defined in Treasury Regulation 1.527-6B5. Get out the vote campaigns must not be specifically identified by the organization with any candidate or political party. As long as these are nonpartisan activities, they are considered not political, and that is the loophole that is allowed for a 501c3. This would include things like signing people up for new voter registration. But you cannot be pushing for Republican or Democrat. It has to be completely nonpartisan. Here's the problem. Turning Point USA is a 501c3. They are supposed to be non-political. But then we see Erica Kirk endorsing J.D. Vance for president.
We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible.
This is at America.
Man, I'm telling you, my wife wouldn't be able to do that on her best day after I passed away the way that Charlie did. Would not be able to do it. Smiling, happy. It's so, to me, it's so unhinged. I mean, you can say what you want. I guess people can pull themselves together, fake smiles, et cetera, et cetera. To me, it just seems so unhinged for somebody to just be like, we're going to get this person. Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. What are you, what? I'd be in heaven like, this bitch, what the, what is she? What is she? And Jesus is just like, calm down, man. Just calm down. No. Get off me, man. What's going on down there? Yo, send me back. No. Send me back. Am I even in the ground yet? I'm not. Send me back. Send me back. Send me back. I need to talk to her. I'm going into her dreams then. No. None of you guys can stop me from going into her dream. I'm going into her dreams. This is crazy. No. Yo, God, send me back, man. No. I need to talk to her. God's like, listen, man, she's for the streets, bro. She's for the streets. Just, you gotta let that go, bro. Got Marilyn Monroe in here. You know what kind of strings I had to pull to get Marilyn Monroe in here? Marilyn Monroe's just down the street, bro. Come on, man. We got all sorts here, bro. Come on, man. Just relax. I'd be like, send me back, man. Send me back immediately. This is crazy. What is going on? Can I please go back? Someone said, stop trolling on the sound. All caps. I agree. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think it's so wild whenever I see her super happy. And, you know, I guess you want people to be happy, right? I guess. I don't know. I think I can solidly say, and if you're listening to this, honey, I apologize. I would not like to see my wife happy after I pass away. No. You have to give it a year, at least 2 years. And you know what? It's me. 3 years before you're happy. I'm just saying, you know, no smiles for 3 years. Is that too much to ask? I don't know. I could be crazy.
Fest. Turning Point USA's largest event, with the CEO in a flashy pantsuit giving a speech endorsing a political candidate. This is strictly forbidden under the law for a 501c3. You cannot endorse political candidates. That is political activity. In my opinion, what Erica Kirk just did was illegal. This is effectively using their tax-exempt donations to create a campaign commercial.
This is after Charlie passed away, man. Why are you so happy? This is crazy. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's so wild to me. Why are either of you so happy? I don't know, man. I guess they're just in that gear. Politicians have a different gear than the rest of us, and I would put her in the place of like politicians. That's what they're trying to do, right? I guess they just have a different gear. It's crazy.
For JD Vance. And before you say, well, maybe it was paid for by one of the other companies that allow political activity. No. It says Turning Point USA behind her head during the speech. The tickets for the event were sent out from Turning Point USA. The fact page for the event is hosted at tpusa.com. And at the bottom of the webpage, it explicitly says Turning Point USA is a 501c3. It looks to me like the executives at Turning Point are playing pretty fast and loose with the laws concerning 501c3s.
I'm telling you, how pissed is Wolves in Finance that he's doing this? I didn't even know any of this. Did you guys know this? I was like, of course Turning Point can be political. I'm like, that's what they are. And I don't know, like what else would be going on? But apparently they're not allowed to. Well, they've been doing a bad job at that, I think. I figured that, am I wrong? I figured they were just a conservative political machine. That's what I've always thought about them. Am I out of order there? They were supposed to be neutral? What? That's crazy. I don't know if that's really the law. See what happens. You're gonna be kind of in for it. But here's the thing: nothing's gonna happen, because if it's the law, okay, and then your husband got the now Prez Orange. Somebody said I should say Agent Orange, but you got to say Prez Orange. You know what I mean? I guess I could say Agent Orange. But you got him in office, and now his VP you're going to get in office as well. At least that's the plan. What law enforcement person is coming down on you? Who's going to come down on Turning Point? I don't know. They've worked it into too much of a machine. It's too powerful. So I don't see anybody going after it. Anyway, let's jump in here. This is him going a little max right now. Listen to this.
Election laws. For instance, in Arizona, ballot harvesting is only allowed for immediate family members and caregivers.
10,000 in the chat. I wish I was one of these Dominican New York City DJs. Papi, 10K, papi. I know black, papi. I know black, 10K in the chat, papi. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's go.
For the sake of this video, we're going to assume that Turning Point is doing ballot harvesting correctly. I'm just going to assume that they hired all of these people to harvest ballots only for their immediate family members. I know that is a massive assumption, but we're going to start there. My problem is not the ballot harvesting. The problem is how are they paying for the ballot harvesting? Are they paying for it out of companies that are not supposed to be doing political activity and then not reporting it to the IRS? Here's a post by Tyler Boyer. Another day, another group of dozens of full-time ballot chasers being trained into the field. I wonder how they are paying for all of this. Here's another post by Ashley on X.com. Ballot chasing in Arizona with TP Action. Make America Great Again, #Trump 2024. In the photograph, they are wearing red MAGA hats. Now, in my opinion, if you are wearing a red MAGA hat and putting in your social media post #Trump 2024, this is clearly political activity. Her profile page says she's a college deputy director at Turning Point USA, which is not supposed to do any political activity. So is this senior manager being paid, and where is that money coming from? Because it does not look like it was reported as political activity on the 990 form. Here's a screenshot from an interview with Tyler Boyer. This looks like he is sitting at his desk at home. You can see behind his head a poster that reads, "Knock doors, win elections." It looks like it is talking about the Chase the Vote initiative. It's on the wall right behind his desk.
Do you know how closely Wolves in Finance has to be looking at Turning Point to find this in an obscure interview? No one cares about Tyler's interviews whatsoever. And somehow he not only found the obscure interview, but then found this. He was looking for this. He's like, I'm going to watch hours of Turning Point, and I am going to figure out what they were doing and what they were not doing. Do you know what happened? What happened? How, like I said, people, he has a membership thing. How many memberships signed up that he's just like, yeah, whatever. They got 9 figures. I don't care. Let's do this. I got to meet this guy's lawyer. I mean, geez, this guy clearly doesn't have a Tyler Robinson lawyer. This guy has a completely different type of lawyer on his hands.
For something so important that Tyler Boyer keeps it right behind his desk, does it make sense to you that political activity only makes up 3% of the budget of Turning Point Action? Here's a post from Matthew Martinez that says, "From chasing every vote to curing every ballot. Tonight, TP Action called thousands of voters to help them cure their rejected ballots. We are laser focused on chasing and curing every vote until polls close here in Wisconsin." On his profile, he lists Turning Point Action. I don't know if he works for them, but it certainly looks like he's getting paid. This is a post by Jeanette Garcia. Some people stack paper, TP Action stacks paper.
You know this lady? I never made a video about this, but if you look up the case, if you look up the case that is regarding her, it is wild. Very, very weird. She works for Turning Point, has this crazy case against her. I have no idea. It's crazy. You should look it up. Remember, Jeanette Garcia. Check that case out. I don't know if she's convicted. I don't know if it's just accusations, but there is some wild stuff about her and another member. I think this person was of Turning Point Action or something like that. It is nuts.
And she's holding a pile of request forms for early voting. Her profile says she's the CTV Deputy Director for Turning Point Action. How much is she getting paid? She also posted this, meeting today with TP Action, Chase the Vote senior managers and getting prepared to take on 2026. And there are all these people. How much money are these people getting paid? We know they are getting paid because we have a job posting. now hiring Chase the Vote managers in New Hampshire. Visit tpaction.com/careers. They are hiring vote managers and paying them. Here's another advertisement. If you live in South Phoenix, Laveen, or downtown Phoenix, Turning Point is hiring door knockers. Ballot chasing representative, positions available now. So it's not just the managers they're paying, they are paying the people knocking on the doors. By the way, the person who posted this is Tatiana Pena, who is one of the candidates who paid money to the UPS Store mailbox for 110 LLC. This is a post from Justine Wadzak, who is another politician who paid money to the UPS Store mailbox for 110 LLC. This is wild. This is a series of photos. Here is Justine wearing a MAGA hat. She is standing over the shoulder of a voter watching him fill in the voting form. She makes sure he fills in the bubble that she wants, and then walks the voter out to the mailbox to make sure he puts it in the mail. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't this look like voter intimidation?
Oh, man. See, this guy doesn't understand. Maybe he didn't do this part of the research, you know? Yeah, Erica has that loose tie to the mafia, you know, through the Rothstein family, right? So that's just how they're going to get down from time to time. Hey, listen, big guy. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, you see the hat, right? You see the hat. Get your pen out. Get your pen out. There it is. You know which you know which I swear you know which bubble to fill out, right? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to film you. I'm going to film you. You do anything different, it's going to be a problem. We're going to talk about that after. Walk to the mailbox. Walk to the... Listen, I tell you one more time. Go to the mailbox. You funguli. Yeah, you go to the mailbox. Put it in. Put it in. Close it. Get inside your house. Just going door to door doing that, you know? Hey, how you doing? My name's Tony. How you doing? Who you voting for? I'm going to tell you who you're voting for. Come here. Come here. Just dragging people to their mailbox. That's not what's happening. That's what's happening in my head. That's not what's happening in real life. But it kind of looked like that. Filming him going to the mailbox is like very interesting. Because who are you saying? Is that picture just for social media? Like, what's going on with that? Like, because that's like a weird picture. Like, hey, I got one. Like, what kind of? I don't really get it. I don't get what that picture could be purposed for. You know, unless it's just like, and you see this picture? Now I got your face. I got your address. Okay, okay. Get inside your house. Get inside your house. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe he wanted it. Maybe he was like, film me doing this. This is my first time doing it. I'm an illegal alien. This is my first time doing it. Can't believe this is really happening. Let's put it in the mailbox. Who says they're all liberals? Give me 5. Hey.
I did not know this was legal in the United States. How can you look over someone's shoulder while they are voting? This is not just door knocking. This is not just talking about a candidate. This goes so much further. And also, this is extremely partisan and should be reported in the financials as political activity. I want to know, how much is this lady getting paid by Turning Point? Because her profile says she is a TP Action CTV leader and her profile photo shows her talking on the Charlie Kirk show. How much is she getting paid?
This guy's pissed. This guy's pissed. How much is she getting paid? Right now, they're like in the office. I thought you sent him a letter. I thought you did not. Did you send him a letter or not? We did. We thought that would be enough. Just started him up. Everybody has their awakening periods, right? I'm sure this guy was just like, nah, I'm an accountant and I'm just going to talk about finances. And now all of a sudden, he's going to turn into CoffeeZilla. That's you want a CoffeeZilla on your hands. You get CoffeeZilla, right? This is how you do it. This is how you get a CoffeeZilla. You piss off a very meticulous guy. And the next thing you know, he's doing videos with a black background like a psycho. Just saying, I like the guy. It's crazy, though. It's just a black background. Very bold, I have to say. Very, very bold. Could never be me. I'd fade into it. But he does it no problem. This is what you have on your hands now. I don't know. What are you going to do? Which part is this now? I'm going to jump over to this one. This is where he talks about the Doge efforts. Please call it the Doge effort. Do not call it anything else. That is a big problem, apparently, the effort.
Representative for Turning Point Action. Something else strange. Tyler Boyer is listed on the website of the Arizona Young Republicans as part of the advisory board. What is Tyler Boyer doing hanging out with all these young students? Well, it turns out that he's paying them money. Here's a post by the Arizona Young Republicans. Arizona, let's get Kari Lake across the finish line. We need your help to cure ballots. Sign up with TP Action and help cure ballots. This was replied to by someone that says, where you all been? You need to get on board earlier. Arizona Young Republicans replies, most of us literally work for TP Action, Trump team, or the campaign. I promise you, we're working LOL. How much money is Tyler Boyer giving to the students at the Arizona Young Republicans? So I have shown you a lot of information of what Turning Point Action is actually doing in real life. I've shown you the photos. I've shown you the law. I've shown you how it does not match what is being reported to the IRS. To finish this audit, you need to answer 2 questions. Does Turning Point Action's activity qualify as political activity? And second, does it seem like that political activity exceeds the 3% reported to the IRS on the 990 form? In my opinion, I think absolutely yes, that they are lying to the IRS. What they are doing is so extreme on such a massive scale with millions of dollars. I think someone is lying. Now, for some reason, if you're still not convinced, do you remember last week when Turning Point's lawyer sent me a threatening letter? That was one of the worst mistakes that Turning Point has done. That letter is the key to this entire story. Because in that letter, they write out their official reason why Turning Point Action's budget increased from $10.7 million in FY23 to $27.2 million in FY24. This increase of $16.5 million was for, and I quote, lobbying and political activity during election years. This is what Turning Point's own lawyer is saying this $16.5 million is being used for. So why is none of this money being reported on Schedule C in the 990 form? According to...
Here's the thing. When he says stuff like that, he's an accountant. So I know everybody makes mistakes, but it seems like this is kind of stuff that he sees all the time. So it really stands out to him. So when that lawyer who's, you dressed like a train, what are they called? A train captain? What's it called? A conductor. There we go. Thank you. When you're dressed like a conductor or whatever, and you're just saying that he's lying about everything, it seems like this is stuff that he sees all the time. I don't know if what he's saying true. He is definitely able to make mistakes. That's for sure. Okay. He's a human, right? But when he says that, he's like, why isn't any of this money being reported? It kind of makes me think maybe the money was supposed to be reported. I don't know, right? His confidence is kind of, it's very convincing. That's what I'll say, maybe, allegedly, perhaps. No, because that's the wrong acronym to put out there. Allegedly, maybe, perhaps. That's a better acronym. Let's go.
To Turning Point's own official statement, they are guilty. Now, I realize we're not doing a real audit here. We do not have access to all the financial information. It is possible that Turning Point has an innocent explanation for all of this. But from what little information we do have, it certainly looks like something illegal is going on. But here's the crazy part. Turning Point Action is not even my biggest concern. The biggest problem is America's Turning Point, that strange 501c3 managed by Tyler Boyer. It is managed by the same person who manages the election-focused organizations Turning Point Action and Turning Point PAC. But we are supposed to believe that it is a 501c3 that does absolutely no political activity whatsoever. Well, we have already seen the types of things that Turning Point is not counting as political activity. With everything that I have shown you about Tyler Boyer and his operations, how many of you believe that America's Turning Point is doing nothing political? The letter I received last week from Turning Point's lawyer revealed the bombshell news that America's Turning Point was missing employees on its 990 forms. A lot of employees. It was around 80 employees that were not reported. So now we know these people exist. The obvious question now is, who are these people? What were these people doing? One explanation could be door knockers. Of course, if those door knockers were wearing MAGA hats, that would make them political, which would make them illegal under a 501c3. America's Turning Point also does not get donations. It gets all of its revenue by transferring money out of Turning Point USA. I mentioned before, in FY24, $8.6 million was transferred from Turning Point USA to America's Turning Point. So let me tell you what I think is going on. Tyler Boyer manages these political companies. The Trump election is coming up in 2024. Tyler Boyer realizes he needs more people to do ballot harvesting. So he decides, let's just steal the donations from Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. So he transfers $8.6 million into the company he manages, America's Turning Point. And then he hires a bunch of people for illegal political activity. And he tells everyone, come on, no one will ever know. Charlie Kirk doesn't even have to know. We will just say it is nonpartisan. We will call it get out the vote efforts. No one's ever going to ask questions. No one will ever look at the photographs. Don't worry about it. Except I think that Charlie Kirk found out. This fits the timeline of the Baker-Tilly audit that concluded on June 20th, 2025, that would have revealed all this information to Charlie Kirk shortly before his murder. If all of these people getting paid from America's Turning Point are not doing political activity, then what are they doing? In none of the photos I have seen is there anything that would qualify as non-political activity. So what are they doing? In my opinion, this looks blatantly illegal. It looks like they are stealing donations and using them for something different than what they promised the donors. What they are allegedly using it for is illegal activity. This is
Wow. And the timeline does match up for sure. 11,000. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much. I know Black Poppy. Let's go. Anyway, if you don't know, in New York, that's all Dominicans say. They just drive around all day, blacker than me, noses bigger than me, and they're just like, I know Black Poppy. I know Black Poppy. All the time. It's very insulting. Because we have eyes, right? We have eyes. It's like me telling you I'm Irish. Like what? I guess I kind of am. I got a little bit of Irish in me. Let's keep going here. But everything he just said is absolutely crazy. It does match up with the timeline in regards to yeah, wow. Yeah. I mean, I can't say here or there. Okay, that's what I'm thinking on right now as I like wince. I can't say here or there what Tyler did, but this is the type of stuff that Candace has been talking about for quite some time when she talks about Tyler and not trusting Tyler. If that's actually going on, and then Charlie realizes, and then I believe Charlie removed Tyler from the position he was in. I could be wrong about that, but I think he was in a certain position where he could do stuff like this a little bit more. And he took him out of that position, then wanted to do the Doge effort. And then, days later, he passes away? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's really easy to believe what Wolves and Finance is saying. Really easy. I'll say that. It's very, very easy to believe what this guy's talking about. It does match up. Tyler is very sketchy. And then Erica gets placed in there. And I know some people are thinking that Erica was placed in there because there was some kind of money that she would get as the, I don't know if it was an insurance policy or what. There's some kind of money she would get. I remember Dank's talking about this. That could be it. But it could also be like, hey, we got to convince Erica to be the person because she will take the full brunt of the responsibility. That's why Charlie wanted the Doge effort, because he knew this is going to be my name, my legacy. I'm going to be the one that has to deal with all this. So I want to see where this money's going. Maybe he actually did, like, maybe he was like, hey, I don't know what's going on with Tyler. I don't know what he's doing. He has all these people around me. I want to know where the money's coming from and where it's going. And then, like Wolves and Finance, he started following the money. And you know how Turning Point gets when you're following the money, right? You know how they get. They're sending out letters, but you couldn't send the letter to Charlie, right? Charlie would be like, what are you guys doing? You sent me a letter? What is this? So they couldn't send Charlie a letter. They had to send him something else. Allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Okay? Then just the last part, and there's a lot that I've skimmed over here, but just the last part that he touches on is just so golden. I mean, this is just him truly being so pissed at Turning Point, just so angry with Turning Point.
Deal where he pled guilty. So if we were to apply that same standard to the case I have laid out against Turning Point, the entire leadership team would go straight to prison. Tyler Boyer, prison. The CFO, Justin Olson, prison. Andrew Colvett, prison. Blake Neff, prison. Anyone who knew about the political activity and was involved in the cover-up would go to prison. And yes, that includes
the way that he does that. Oh my God. That's incredible. Andrew Colvett, prison. Justin Olson, prison. Oh my God. Holy jeez. And he's even going for Erica.
Erica Kirk, whose name is on the letter with Donald Trump's alleged handwriting. Donald Trump.
That's just incredible. Wow. He's just like prison. Right to jail. Right to jail. It's like that meme from The Office. Right to jail. Right to jail. Yeah, you know. You have the handwriting on the letter, you go straight to jail. You take the money and the person has the hat on that says 47 and they go door to door, right to jail. Holy. If this is not going max, I don't know what is. Wolves and Finance out here not playing around whatsoever. Absolutely pissed with Turning Point. Just pissed with Turning Point. And good for him, man. Good for him for standing up. Good for him for actually making this video and deciding that he's not going to back down. Good for him. Like, I mean, that's what you have to do at a certain point. Because, you know, I always say this when I talk to creators and they're having trouble with videos. And I always say, when it comes to like copyright stuff and things like that, I always say you have to fight every single time, because the second that you give in, it's like they become like sharks and they start going after all your videos and this and that. You have to fight. That's why I fought Rogan and Sean Ryan at the same time and could have easily got my channel deleted. But I was like, you have to fight. Like, what else can I do? If I don't fight, they're just going to start coming after me like crazy. So I had to fight. Right now I'm fighting Theo Von. Theo Von actually gave me a copyright strike because I made a video that was it was kind of criticizing one of his sets. He's all about free speech in public, but behind the scenes, he really doesn't like criticism. So he hit me with a copyright strike. And now I have to fight it because the clip that he says is his isn't even his. He didn't make it. His production team didn't make it. It's just a clip with him in the clip. And he says he thinks that's grounds for him to now copyright strike me because he doesn't like what I was saying in the video. You have to fight. I have no choice. I don't know. Their next response has to be a lawsuit. We'll see what happens. I think he has no case. I'm pretty sure. I've talked to people about it. People who are in that legal regard. They're in that legal way. But you have to fight. There's no choice. Otherwise, they'll just take everything from you. You know who actually first said that I heard say that? Funny enough. Balix Tones was the first one. Yeah, someone said not Theo Vaughn. Yeah, Theo behind the scenes. We have some of the same friends. Theo behind the scenes really goes after people, especially commentary pages. Too Lazy to Try has talked about this. Tim Dillon did this to Too Lazy to Try as well. Out of like dozens of people who made videos, he just went after him. Theo is known to do this to people all the time. It's very strict. Even if you have a picture of his podcast, even if it's just a picture, not even him talking, he will try and go after you. It's absolutely wild. It's very predatory. He knows it, but apparently he just really, really, really doesn't like criticism. So that's a little thing that people I don't see talk about too publicly about him. So yeah, he does that. He does that quite a bit. So anyway, let's keep going here. But Wolves in Finance, shout out to him. I really hope Candace takes the time to talk about this video because he deserves it. He deserves to be known for what he's doing. He just, what he's doing is very, very brave because like he said, it could really impact him in a bad way. Not just financially, but like mentally. And here's the thing. They know that when they do what they're doing, they fully know that that's what will happen. It's part of the psychological part. And I mean, we all know how much they know about psychological warfare, but it messes with people mentally. It messes with your life. It messes with your family. It messes with everything, right? It's a really, really low down thing to do. They could have just reached out to him and had him correct things, right? He seems like a guy that if he had direct communication with them, he'd be like, guys, I'm talking to them directly. This is what I found out. You know, he could make videos about it. He could correct certain things. Could have done that. But that would have them talking about what's going on in their or in-house financially. Tyler would have to address the $8.6 million. They would have to address that timeline syncing up with Charlie's Doge effort. They would have to start talking about what's going on with all of this money that should be reported. Apparently, this is what he's saying, money that should be reported. They would have to start addressing all of that. Maybe they can't. Maybe they can't address it. Maybe they're in that type of situation. I don't really know. But shout out to you, Wolves in Finance. Can't wait for your next video. It's probably not going to be a turning point video. It might, depending on what happens to him, you know. Candace is definitely going to be talking about what is going on with this Zoom call. She says we are now in possession of the Zoom call. How many people in Turning Point? You have to actually say this. You know, a lot of people don't point out how many people in Turning Point dislike what's going on inside, that there are multiple people leaking things. They're giving her Zoom calls. They're showing her firing videos. They're leaking information. They're telling her what's going on inside. How many people, like, the narrative is that Candace is crazy, that she's hated, you know, that she's jealous. But it's like so much of the information she gets is actually from people on the inside. So maybe there is something weird going on in there. I don't know. See, it seems like it. Why are they all willing to do this? If I had a company and everybody was willing to do this, I'd be like, oh, okay. I think it's me at some point. If there's 30 people who are willing to leak information, 30 people who don't like the new leadership, you know, maybe it's not that just everybody's a hater who doesn't like you. Maybe you're just, you know, you're an a-hole sometimes, you know? She says she's in possession of this Zoom call 5 days after Charlie passed away, telling employees to take time off to grieve. It's so weird. It's so weird. And you know what the assumption is that she's not grieving, right? That is the assumption. It's very weird. Like I was saying earlier in the video, or earlier in the live stream, earlier in the show. I said all of that for anybody who's watching now and in the future. But you can see that she is eerily able to present herself as happy. That's how I'll say it. Okay. Very oddly able to seem super happy about everything that's going on. It's all very odd. And if after 5 days she was just good, I'm telling you right now, if she doesn't have the tissues out in this Zoom call, if she doesn't have the tissues out with the box and the schnot bubbles, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. If that's not how it looks, if she's just with a DJ, just having shots, just like, hey guys, what's going on? Whew. Anyways, guys, what's going on, everybody? Are you guys good? I'm good. I'm feeling especially good today. I'll be there in a second. Yeah, no, you drive. I'm too lit. I can't drive. You're going to drive. Okay, guys, if you need time, if it's like that, I'm going to be shocked, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the reason I show you guys that is that somebody actually chimed in. Someone said, let me see here, but now it's just too clear if you were toying with viewers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this guy says he was actually there. He says he was on the call that Candace is going to show us today. I think she's going to show us today. I was on the call. I can confirm nothing happened. It was a very sad call in which she was trying to comfort employees and offer resources. This is truly sad, Candace. I tried hard to give you grace. Sure you did. Just like everybody at Turning Point. I was giving you the benefit that you are grieving in your own way, but now it is too clear you are toying with your viewers, and this is what it's about. You're just grifting. I love how they always go to grifting. Oh, man, how much I despise that word. It's like cringe. You know the word cringe? I'm old enough that the word cringe didn't exist before. If it did, we didn't use it. And then it came up, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, I'd be sitting with grown men. They'd be like, oh, that's cringe. I'd be like, cringe? What the fuck? What are you saying? Why are you saying it? What's that? What's that word you just used? And now grifter's the same thing to me. I hear it, and I'm like, doesn't even make sense. Call someone a loser. Just call them a loser, okay? You know what I mean? There's so many words out there. I don't use swear words, but if you do, you know how many you have access to. You're going with grifter? That's what we're doing? Like we're steampunk hippie types with our mustaches curled, talking about grifters? Come on, man. Drinking IPAs? Is that what it is? I know there's some people that drink IPAs in there. You guys are going to be upset. I'm sorry. I had to say it. I had to paint the picture properly. You understand? This person says there was nothing going on in that call at all. But here's the thing. Candace is saying that it was 5 days after Charlie passed away. This guy's saying, oh, it was a call. Nothing happened. She was trying to offer resources and comfort employees. That is the thing. He's like, nothing happened. But that is the happening. That is the weirdness. That's very odd to have taken place 5 days after. She doesn't have to be doing. Why would there have to be a call with her doing that? It makes no sense. Andrew exists. He exists. He is in the physical plane. Mikey McCoy is not. He tends to ascend. He comes back down when we need him most. But Andrew is always here. Okay? So why wasn't it Andrew? Why wasn't it Tyler? Why wasn't it all of them? They could all just be there via live stream or whatever it was, or via Zoom. Why on earth would it be Erica? That is a very odd thing to have happen. Again, 5 days after, my wife better not be able to talk. She better not be able to talk. What are we talking about? You have to figure out how to explain heaven to the kids. There's so much other things that a wife needs to be doing at that time. A spouse needs to be doing at that time. I don't know, man. It all seems very weird to me. Let's jump in here. What do we have here? I gotta just quickly. Oh, oh man. I'll talk about this really quick. Gary from Paramount Tactical. He shows up, of course. Like I said, he has a steady stream of verbal diarrhea for Candace Owens. I hope I wasn't too graphic there. Apologize. Candace Owens shouldn't, Erica Kirk shouldn't have been the CEO of Turning Point. Okay. Okay, Gary. Are you going to put that in quotations, or are you just saying that, Gary? I'm curious, who would have been acceptable? For those who hate Turning Point, who would have been an acceptable replacement for Charlie Kirk? A, provide the name for a better replacement. B, Turning Point USA should have been shut down after Charlie's death. Thanks for those great options there, Gary. Just a nonsensical thing to say. This is what I had to say. I said, you, Gary, it's always been you that we've all been pushing for. And you know what? He'd be a fantastic replacement, right? He'd be so good. And that's what we're all pushing for, Gary. I hope you see this, big guy. It's you that we all want to run Turning Point. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? It was you the whole time we wanted to step in. We wanted you to step in, Gary. It's just so dumb. So dumb. But here's what I actually think. I think Candace should run it. I know people will be like, why would she even want to be associated, this, that. Yeah, I get that. But I think she should have ran it. I think that would have made the most sense. Charlie always said that he didn't like a woman working, like a mother working, but he also always said that Candace is an anomaly. Yeah, she would say the same thing. She would always, she's an anomaly. She can do it for some reason. And we know why, because of the text messages that were released. He felt like she was this pivotal person who was going to push the movement forward and be the one to get everybody to the quote unquote promised land. Not the actual promised land, because Candace doesn't like that promised land all that much, and their government, but but you know, the promised land, quote unquote. And yeah, I think it should have been her. And I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was supposed to be her. Honestly, I'm not just saying that. I don't know her. I have no idea, but it makes the most sense. No one else actually makes sense. Erica doesn't make sense because she has kids and she is going through the roughest. This should be the roughest thing she's ever gone through ever. So she doesn't really make sense. Tyler doesn't really make sense. There's no charisma there. Andrew doesn't make sense. You know, he's dull. Blake doesn't make sense. He's weird, right? Nobody else makes sense really, unless you had somebody from the outside just step in. But who could that be even? JD wants to run the entire country. JD's not going to step in. Vivek got ousted when he started telling Americans that they were lazy. And immigrants work harder. It's like, okay, bye. Trump was like, just go. You should run for governor somewhere. Have a great day. Have a good day, sir. Haven't heard about him since. You know what I mean? He's gone. He's off social media too. That's what happens. You can't be calling Americans lazy. What are you, ridiculous? What kind of thought process is that? It was so dumb. Such a mistake he made. But who else could it be? I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, in the movies that end up in my mind, you have Andrew Colvett and he's just sitting there and there's a fire glistening, right? It's just reflecting off of his face, right? Mikey McCoy is behind him because, you know, the deities are always present with us in our hardest moments. And they're just sitting there and there's a fire going and he's just looking at it. And Mikey just goes, we can't, man. And Andrew just has a tear and he says, but it's his wish. It's his dying wish. And Mikey just goes, we can't, man. And then you just see the camera pan down and it just says, you know, last wish. This is the person that I need to run this company. I know it doesn't make sense, but it'll be the best thing. That person is, and you just see it just says Candace Owens. And then he just throws it into the fire. And Mikey just goes, you did the right thing. No one can ever see that. No one can ever see that. And Andrew just starts crying, schnapp bubbles, you know? And then Mikey just ascends to heaven. He says, good work, my child. Yeah. And just ascends. Yeah. Those are the kind of movies I make in my head, you know? Every now and then. Those are the type of movies I make just in my brain all the time. They're always there. Anyway, let's jump in here. Let's jump into the super chats, ladies and gentlemen. We got this here. What do we got here? 11,000. Wow, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Let's sort this out. Can I sort this? I need to sort this. Okay? You guys are always talking about what Baron does with his, and I think you guys are right. I was jealous of it. He gets them right on the screen. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Let's try and do this. Boom. I have them all. I have them on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. And then what do? We pop out the chat. Okay. So now I pop it out. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning here. Can I put this in there? I can't? Oh, God. You know, this is what it's like as you get older. It's just ridiculous. Just being older. It's just rough. You know, you're trying to figure things out all the time. Technology just doesn't let you figure things out. You know, it's the roughest thing ever. Let's keep going here. Can I have this? I guess I could have this. Yeah, I could have this on the screen. It's fine. It's actually me on the screen. Ugh, I don't want that. Here, let me enlarge this a little bit just so we can get this. I'll just have Candace. Candace in the corner there, just looking absolutely ridiculous. But let's get into these things. You had me crying actual tears yesterday with your Zuckerberg Bezos impressions. I'm walking around talking about Elon looking like a bag of milk. Elon, that's, yeah, you know, what can I say, man? He does. I mean, you ever seen you think I'm making it up? You think I'm making it up? Come on. I'm not making it up. Come on. Elon Musk. I don't even know if I can play this. Elon Musk shirtless. It's a guy. You should be able to show a guy shirtless, right? You know what I mean? I'm not making it up. I'm not making that up. Look, here. Boom. There, whoop. There's a picture. Let's see. Here. You know what I mean? That's a bag of milk. You know? Not shaming anybody. Okay? I might look like a bag of chocolate milk, but at least it's sweeter. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's that. But yeah, I was doing those impressions. I love doing those impressions. You know, Jeff Bezos is the best. Hell, this is the only part of Jeff Bezos I can do. Hell yeah! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Hell yeah! Him and Mark Zuckerberg just picking you up, dipping you in baby oil, just picking you up. All right, get him over here. All right, let's go. Let's go. Put him in the plane. Put him in the plane. We're going to make him an astronaut. I'm going to make him an astronaut tonight. Mark Zuckerberg's just like, I cannot perform any type of coitus, not because I am not human. I just prefer not to. I am going into sleep mode. Wake me when I am in there, please. And we will enjoy liquids. And then he shuts down. He's a robot. That was the best thing Candace ever said, you know, talking about them being robots in her, what was that called? What was it called when she was talking about being robots? In her book club. I got to go to that book club. It seems crazy. Danks. Shout out to Danks. Ah, yes. Coach. Coffee and Coach. God bless. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Let's keep going here. Nothing to fear but fear itself. Yeah, when it comes to wolves and finance, that's exactly what he had going on in his head when he did that. Sober Happy Mama says, when are you making a membership? I'm in Barron's, but I want one for you too. Okay, fine. I'll do it. I don't even know how to do it. So I would have to figure out how to do it first. And then I would have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. All right. So I think that's important. I could be 100% wrong. Maybe it's not important. How are you guys doing with the ice? You guys iced in? Are you guys like just, who's iced in? Just iced. I don't even know what's going on with Barron. I should actually message him. I should see where he's at. You know, hope he has a generator. You know, you really need that. We got a generator just in case. You just never know. Because like Candace said before she went away for the weekend, she was like, you know, places, Tennessee, Texas, you know, these places, when there is snow, a little bit of snow, it shuts down. I remember we had to go to the mall because it was my kid's birthday. And it had snowed, I think, 2 centimeters. It was really weird. It just snowed right on. It was really weird. It snowed one day. That was it. 2 centimeters. And we went to the mall. It was closing early. They were closing up the mall early because they're just like, we gotta get out of here. You know, there were signs about ice. I was like, this is very odd, you know? Coming from the East Coast, or, you know, when you're in Texas, I guess everything's north. Coming from the north and seeing that type of thing is very, very weird. It's like, you're closing early? It's 3 o'clock. What are you talking about? Yeah, there's going to be some snow. It's 2 centimeters. I don't know. You know, these places just aren't ready for it. Nikki says people out here slipping on those mints, filibusters. Filibusters? Who's making that a thing? That should be what the mints are called, filibusters. That's what they should be called. Lori says absolutely nothing. Thank you so much, Lori. Just a fly on the wall, chilling. I like the quiet types. Love Knot says tap that like and share for your lost friends. Yes, please do. Let's keep going here. 47 John Big Boss 47. Stand firm, fam. Christ is king. Always stand firm, of course. I think that's a shout out to Wolves and Finance, though. Miss Cato, Gary is obsessed with Candace. Oh yeah, I think he likes Candace. I think he has a crush on Candace, 100%. Lisa says maybe he hired one of those witches. Maybe who hired one of those witches? Gary or Greg Locke. Really weird to have to be so demonic seeming and talking about witches, you know? What did I say last time? It's like the demon calling the kettle black. It's not fair. Can't do that type of thing. Joyful You says, you should definitely consider the breath spray with the mints as a stimulus package. I love the mint jokes. I didn't even mean for that to happen. And you guys have been taking it to the highest extent. You know what? I actually gotta show you one. I gotta show you one that I just loved. Let me jump over here. Let's dig into the meme bag really quick. I got a whole bag of memes here. This one really, this one is purely insulting. Okay, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me look like Columbo, but that is insulting. That is 100% insulting. That's what I would look like if I had hair. That's why I shave my head every single day. But it wasn't that one that I wanted to show you. Which one was it? Oh, come on. Oh yeah, this one. This one is beautiful. This is beautiful. Brian Harpole, covered in Philadelphia mints, head to toe, in the most fashionable. This looks like high fashion, covered in mints. Puts Erica's mint suit to shame. Absolutely puts it to shame. Beautiful. Who made this? Lisa. Lisa, thank you so much for making this. I really appreciate it. It's called Fashion Sweaty. Take a look at it. It's absolutely incredible. Let's jump back in here. High IQ conspiracy theory mom here. This is Only Pups. Did I miss your interview with Gate Kids? I have a 6-year-old in North Carolina pre-Gate program. Get him out. Please, quickly. I want the best that public school can offer without the hocus pocus. I don't know. You have to see. You have to really ask him what's going on when he's in those classes. You really have to keep an eye on that. Honestly, really keep an eye on it. Here's the thing. My wife was in one of those programs, and it wasn't like, after school or something like that. She was in that program. Like, they shipped her off to another school, and she reports nothing weird, right? But I mean, I'm a normie, right? I'm a special ed normie, so she's not going to tell me. Look, she's outside the door. Just as I bring that up, she's outside the door. I don't know. But you do have to watch out. So I think you should be asking your kids for sure. Just like, hey, what happened yesterday? What happened today? I really do. No, and I haven't done the interviews yet. There are a few people who messaged me on Instagram that are willing to talk about it. And I think I just want to... maybe I'll just release it on a live stream. I'll do a couple of interviews with them, I think there's 4 of them. Maybe I'll just have the 4 talk about it, see if they went through any tests or anything like that. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just asking them what they actually went through, and whoever has the most compelling story, I'll definitely bring that to you guys. But it hasn't happened yet. I will definitely let you guys know when that happens. If Trump loses midterms, it's coach's fault. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Thank you so much, Jet Guy. Really appreciate that. This person here, Kai, says Greg Locke has his own issues to worry about. I did that in the episode. I did an episode talking about him over the weekend, and I did talk about the weirdness that he has going on. It's really weird. If you guys don't know, he has a lot of accusations, and they are just accusations. Hasn't been charged with anything, but people just talk about like spiritual weirdness going on there, where him and his wife are kind of taking this divine role and acting like they're a little bit more than just a man and a woman. You know what I mean? Very, very weird. And I was making the case that it actually lines up with Often. Now, I've explained this so many times, but I'll explain it again. There's Mortal Kombat Ultra, and its successor, its offshoot, became Often. Now, Often actually looked more into witchcraft, seances, ritual, something called symbolic belief manipulation. That would go along the lines of like religion. It really concentrated on tarot cards, demonology, all sorts of weirdness, because they were seeing if they could use that instead of any substance, because it made more sense to use something like that than anything else. So when I see this happening with Greg Locke, that's what I think of right away. And I've already done a whole thing on the unholy mob, which is, Rob McCoy's faction, Frank Turek, Build Up Korea, Liberty University, Standing for Freedom, Turning Point Faith, Cornerstone, Calvary Chapel. All of those together, they make up this weird organization that's kind of continent-wide, all the way into Korea. Really, really weird stuff. They're all doing it too. When you see them doing what they do, there is a psychological component to it, and it's way out of the scope of them just being... I think Frank Turek does it the least, to be honest. I think he does it the least out of everybody, but he is somebody who was doing it. He was making sure that his sermons were very political when he would talk. It was very focused on Candace and Tucker, not the whole way through, but a good part of it. And I think if you have that even for a few minutes in a sermon, it's a disservice to your congregation. But when you are trying to mold public opinion, you will take the time to talk about things that are happening in the public sphere, right? You don't want people going over to Candace's side, so you do something like that. But yeah, I did look into it, and it's pretty wild. There's a lot of accusations around him. Let's do this one here. Greg L is upset because he didn't get a midget horse. Yeah. He's a real wild guy. I'm gonna watch more of his sermons. Thanks, Ferguson, for sending that. I'm gonna watch more of his sermons and see what I can find. But he's a really weird guy. Really weird guy. Joyce says, "Love your podcast. Keep it up." Thank you so much, Joyce. Really appreciate it. Let's keep going here. Chris Hogan says, $5 says you won't read this. Damn, I lost that. I could have just went by it. Damn. So close. You got me, Chris. Fine. Heather Diaz. Wait, Heather Diaz listen, I'm just gonna call you Heather. Is that okay? Allegedly, maybe, perhaps, my new motto: love you, coach. Thank you so much. Love right back to ya. Thank you for using that. The shirts that say that are coming soon. I'm still trying to figure out what font I want to use. I might just go for the basic font that I've used on my Soul Not for Sale shirts, but we'll see. Mad World 1984 says, "Love seeing you live, coach. You were made for this, brother. Thank you so much. Your humor and intelligence are top tier. Never stop going, Max. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that." Let's keep going here. Ferguson, once again, shout out to Ferguson. Erica Kirk, Turning Point, Harpole, Need, Coach Colin, Truth Mints. Truth Mints. That's a good name. That's a solid name. Truth Mints. For when you want to hide the truth, Truth Mints. Just pyrotechnics. Erica standing there. I'm kidding. She's not hiding anything, right? She can't. She doesn't know how to hide anything. Every single thing she tries to hide, it just comes up. You just see Project Constitution. I just found this video of Erica Kirk. He found another one recently. And it really seems like she was trying to get into Hollywood. Really, like hardcore trying to get into Hollywood. Thanks for going live and going Max. Thank you so much, DJ. Let's keep going. Yeah, she was really trying to get into Hollywood. It was weird. Jet Guy says, I think we got these power hierarchies all wrong. Macron better be careful with his wife or he will end up like Charlie. Erica sending out casual warnings. Yeah. Could you imagine? I don't think that'll happen, though. I mean, you know, him and Emmanuel seem very happy. You see what I did there? GSD Puppies says Balak's tones would only get 666 from Burning Joint USA. Burning Joint USA. That's hilarious. Thank you so much. Let's keep going here. Keith, plot twist, the pic Erica sent of her kids with the finger over them were Gary's kids. That is terrible. That is terrible and well thought out. It's terrible. I don't condone it, but that is very well thought out because that was genius. Because I played the clip of him talking about the only thing that could get him to be compromised. And then you're taking the picture that he was sent with that was brilliant. Honestly, that was solid. That was very solid. I can't condone it. You know, I would never want to see that happen to anybody, but I mean, very well thought out. I mean, that was just really good. Miss Cato, Officer Tatum is a part of the Turning Point USA machine. The high IQ team learned that last night. Oh, of course. Officer Tatum, of course. He was really a part. I mean, he was doing the same things that Charlie was doing. He was sitting down with people, having discussions, under the tent and doing that whole thing. He actually had one of his events get attacked. They actually ripped his tent down and everything. It was pretty wild. And the police did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. It was really weird to see. But yeah, of course, he's a part of that machine. I mean, he's the way that he hard changed out of nowhere was so crazy. It was so weird to see. And he just acted like it was nothing. He's like, I just made a Substack talking about Philadelphia and why we should all love it so much. It was like, what? Like, it was the weirdest changeover I've ever seen. And it was so quick, just so hard and fast. Nicole says, Coach, so excited you're doing live streams. Going Max. Why do you have this? What is this? You're number one? Why are you number one? You're number one in what sense? Why do you have a crown? Why do you have a crown inside of my chat, ma'am? What's going on here? Where's my crown? Anyway, I don't know what all these things mean yet. Circling the sun says Gare Bear is too low IQ to know the word dastardly. Love you, Coach. You're killing it. Cat Autocrat. Oh, you're Cat Autocrat? Man, thank you so much. Or ma'am. I'm not 100% sure, but shout out to you. Cat Autocrat is one of the top meme makers, top mint meme makers that we have available to us, okay? A lot of the things that you see, Cat Autocrat was one of the first to make a meme about any of this. Curious Joel, you're supposed to be one of the mods, right? I think you're one of the mods that works with Baron, right? I'm pretty sure you are. I feel like Whitney, your wife or your lady, I'm not 100%. I don't know if you've made that commitment to her yet, Joel. If not, perhaps you should be, getting that ring, I'm just putting it out there. I love when people get married. I think it's great. I'm just putting a little pressure on you. If you're in the room with her right now and you haven't done it, why haven't you done it? You guys should have a discussion about that. But anyway, I think you're one of Baron's mods. And I got to talk to you guys about being mods. I just haven't had the time. I'm so busy after I finished the show that I just didn't have the time today or last night to talk about it more. But let's talk. Whitney said you shot me a DM and shoot me another one because my DMs just they go crazy on Instagram. I don't know where you sent it, but yeah, let's definitely talk and see what we can do. I'm talking to her as well. Just an interesting tidbit I just found doing some genealogy on Greg Locke. His grandfather was Dave Dyer Locke, 1912 to 1994. He worked for DuPont Chemical Company, and he was a 32nd degree Freemason, according to his second obituary. Wow, really? Where's my pen? My kid always takes my pens. I got to write that down. I'm going to forget that. I know I'm going to forget that. I have to write that down. Okay, I won't write it down. Okay, I don't have time to do that, but still, I want to. I really want to. Send me that in the DM. Okay, you're supposed to send me a DM. Please send me that in the DM, because that is crazy. That is so interesting. Really weird. ISO Healthland and Happiness Part 1. Love your program. FYI, Danks and Jesse on Fire did a deep dive on Turning Point and have raised questions about the money laundering and raising money for No Korea. No Korea? It's called no. Are you saying North Korea? Really? No way. No way. Also, human getting caught in rush hour traffic with the Egyptian planes. No way. Jesse's doing that? I haven't seen that video. I haven't seen many of the Danks videos either. I gotta, the algorithm isn't pushing him to me as much, but I definitely will check him out soon enough. Brave souls, all of you are true journalists. We are so grateful to have y'all. Nicole, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I don't consider myself a journalist, honestly. I try to get the information just to make the videos make sense, but I consider myself an entertainer, partially because, it's less pressure, I just like making people laugh, but I also, you gotta bring the truth. You gotta bring the information. So, Amanda says, Coach, Candace, Coleman, Carol, and Wolves, Canine, FTW. I have no idea. Listen, I'm getting old. I have no idea what FTW means. What does that mean? What does that mean? FTW. What does that mean? I'm so lost when it comes to this stuff now. I'm getting older and older, man. I'm just losing it. Doodle-doodle-doo. I know what that means. It's time to fly. Yeah, somebody put me on to what that means. What does that mean, guys? FTW. I know if you're over 40, you have no idea what it means. Don't worry. Let the younger people sort it out. Don't get yourself stressed out there, old man and ladies. I'm joking. Every time I see Rogan with his crazy eyes looking over your shoulder, I can't help but wonder if he took lessons from Erica. So, Joe, have you been eating horse paste again? Stop. Just stop. Joe Rogan, that is called the ape face. Rogan does that when he's working out. When he's working out and he takes a selfie, he does that face. A lot of people have pointed out that it looks like Aleister Crowley. I promise you it is not. It is Joe Rogan, 100%. Nicole says, doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle. Let's go, baby. Wolves of Finance. Or Wolf of Finance. It's Wolves. I've been corrected many times, Nicole. It's Wolves and Finance. I used to say Wolf of Finance too, and people got real mad about it. Jet Guy, Paramount Tactical wins the Pulitzer. Where do we nominate? Yeah, I think Barron was the one that nominated him for that type of thing. Barron absolutely loves Gary, thinks the world of the guy. I saw a clip today of Barron talking about all the hard work that he's doing, and it was absolutely hilarious. Just hilarious, man. Let's keep going here. Wins the Pulitzer. Gary's not even gonna win a steak dinner with the work that he does, honestly. He needs to go back to whatever his company does, whatever it does. It really seems like he was put in place to put disinformation out there. It really does. I don't even like using that term. I really don't, but it does seem like that with him. It seems really weird the way that he operates. Because he started with what happened to the now Prez, in Butler, Pennsylvania. That's like where he started to talk about this stuff. So it's like, that's where he started. Then he jumps into the Charlie thing. It seems like wherever there's an official narrative, there he is to kind of bridge the gap between people who don't believe the official narrative and getting them to come over to the official narrative. That's what I see. Here's a couple of bucks for your legal fees to litigate Barron and Ian for ripping off your claps. Love the show. I've talked to Barron. It's okay. And a lot of people have settled out of court for Ian. So they're in the clear for now. But if it comes up again, we'll have to have that conversation. But thank you so much, Nicole. Once again, welcome to Turning Point World Circus, starring the great Mikey McCoy and his father, the great Pastor McCoy. They will stand on one foot, rub belly, and pat head while in clown shoes. How amazing. Come on, America. Let the show begin. Jeez. Yo, really don't like Mikey McCoy. Listen, I'm quite the opposite. People know me. I really, really like some Mikey McCoy. I think he's just one of the greatest ever. So I have a picture of him in my living room. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. I tried to bring a picture of him to church, and I wanted to hang it up, and they were like, no. And I was like, what the I was like, are you guys serious? So we're looking for a new church now. I don't know. I just wanted to hang it up. Yes, I put it above the cross, but it's because that's where it was the easiest place to put it. They got mad. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird how mad they got. Anyway, let's keep going here. Miss Cato. Is it Cato or Cato? You correct me on that. I know I need to be corrected. I usually do when it comes to names. Gary looks absolutely pathetic these days. He's so mad that he's not in the high IQ outfit, that all he talks about is how much he hates them. It's so icky. Yeah, Gary, it's very odd, the stuff that he puts out, because he's capable of making better content. Like, he is. I know he is, because he has a bunch of knowledge in regards to firearms, in regards to any case that goes on. Like, I don't know if he's made a breakdown of what happened with the ICE agent, but it's like, that's his specialty. You know, like him and Valhalla, they can do stuff like that. They have like an expertise. So I don't understand. I know Valhalla has done one. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I don't know why Gary doesn't stick to that. I don't know why he doesn't talk about that more. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he has a channel. He creates content. You want to create the best content that you can. I don't know why he doesn't move towards that. He has, like I said, he has an expertise. He's worked alongside of these exact people, so he could really speak to what they should be doing, shouldn't be doing. But for some reason, he doesn't. He only focuses on Candace, which is why I always say, when they treat it like it's their job, something's up. It's very weird when all of a sudden attacking Candace becomes the only thing that you do. It's very, very odd to me. Let's jump in here. Cooper Farm says that isn't JD's or Orange Prez handwriting. It was Scott Bassett. Is it Bassett or is it Bassett? Is that even how you spell it? Did you even spell his name right? I feel like it's Bassett. Anyway, who made that letter more personal. There is no conspiracy whatsoever. Okay, Officer Cooper, thanks so much for your input here, Officer Cooper. No, I understand what you're saying there. It could just be Scott doing that, making it more personal. I actually think it's not making it more personal. That doesn't actually make any sense. Just to put that out there, you should think about the letter that we're talking about, or that Wolves and Finances is talking about, to etch out a name and to put Erica. Like, why are you doing that to make it more personal? It's like a legal, serious document. You know what I mean? That's like him putting a little smiley face. Puts a little smiley face, XOXO. It's like, you don't do that on these documents. So he's not trying to make it more personal. That doesn't make any sense. But you could say that he wanted to say Erica, so there's no misconstruing who it's for. He could have just been like, put her first name. You know, I don't know. She's still Mrs. Kirk, but maybe he was like, put her first name. I don't know. But I honestly can't tell you. Can't tell you whose writing that actually is. I have no idea. Okay. Just for all the officers in the chat here. And I'm kidding. I'm sure you're not an officer. I'm sure you're just, you're a federal agent. Don't want to insult you by calling you an officer. You worked harder than that. To be in the agency, you got to work harder than that. And I'm going to give you your respect there. Okay. I'm just giving you respect. Everybody salute. Please put salutes in the chat for the agent in the audience here. I'm kidding. Judy Bowman art. Let me see your art, Judy. If you have Instagram, let me see your art. I love art. I paint pictures myself. I have a bunch of paintings right there. My mental break on a ice face snow day. Oh, you're iced in. Are you iced in? Are you iced in? Oh, tell me more about it. Some people have it really bad. Baron was saying that he got hit with a lot of ice, not a lot of snow, and it's really dangerous when it's a lot of ice. A lot of snow, you know what's going on. You have to shovel the snow. You get your snowblower out, etc., etc. When it's ice, it's actually really dangerous because when it gets on the trees, and possibly even poles, like wooden electrical poles. When the ice gets all over it, it makes it break so much easier. Like I remember there was an ice storm one time, and all you could hear were all these trees cracking. It sounded so weird, but you'd hear it in the distance, and trees would be cracking and breaking and falling on cars and falling on houses. It was wild. It's really, it's not just slipping that's the most dangerous thing. It's the trees just taking stuff out. Cohen Film, shout out to Cohen. Coach, have you heard of the hat trick in hockey? Have I heard of the hat trick in hockey? I think so. Like a hat trick. Three goals. Ooh. Why are you sending riddles, sir? Why are you sending me a riddle? Have you heard of the hat trick in hockey? There's one thing that happens on ice that cannot happen on the ground. Do you know what it is? I don't know this riddle, man. A hat trick. It's 3. Am I wrong? Am I getting it wrong? Anyway, let's keep going here. The Angry Viking says, if you're the coach, we're the team. There you go. Instead of like the militia. Somebody suggested militia. Mint militia. I was like, oh, it's a little much. You got to relax a little bit. Yeah, you can be the team. There you go. 100%. Alan says absolutely nothing and just dances with the cutest face. The cutest face ever. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Need some cuteness in life. Oh, okay. So I have to say that name? Real Nosfentu? Come on, man. What happened to Jim? I bought a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt from Brandon Tatum in September. Still haven't received it. They don't answer the phone or respond to emails at all. It sucks. That sucks, man. That really sucks. I don't know why that would happen. It's very weird when that stuff starts to happen. I understand things get backed up. I have my own merch store, and sometimes things get held and you don't realize it, and then you have to release all of the orders at the same time, and then it takes a little longer. I have a thing. I did it recently that if something takes too long to get to somebody, like one guy took a month, and I think we canceled his order and we just sent him free stuff because it's like. It didn't like take a month to travel. It just, for a month, it didn't send for some reason. So we were just like, we just got to send him a bunch of free stuff. It was supposed to be for Christmas, and like it just messed up. I feel like it could have messed up a gift opportunity for him, and that sucked. So I just give free stuff after. I don't know. But I don't expect Officer Tatum to do that, quite honestly. Not because he can't, I don't see him being that kind of guy. I see him as being like, listen, when it comes to the shirts, okay, y'all, you gonna get the shirt, okay? 30% off. Please use our discount code. It's right here in the corner. Officer Tatum, 30% off. You're gonna get your shirts, all right? When it comes to this, you're gonna get your shirt. Don't worry about it. You just gotta calm down a little bit, you know? I haven't watched him in a while, but I vaguely remember him being like that. Interesting stuff from Wolves and Finance. UFO says this. But he doesn't believe Philadelphia is involved in CK's passing away. I'm not there yet to fully trust him. I have subbed to his channel for 2 months, and it is a roller coaster. I think about that. Listen, that's his opinion. You know, I heard someone say this on Barron's live just the other day, last night, actually. You know, that's his opinion. I mean, what do you expect? The guy's an accountant. You know, like, I don't know what you're expecting from him, but he's an accountant. He's not going down that rabbit hole. Maybe that doesn't make any sense to him. You know, maybe he doesn't know the full story, maybe allegedly, of JFK. You know, maybe he's just not clued into everything. You know, not like sometimes we have a thing where we think everything that we know is common knowledge because it's common to us and it's common to a bunch of people that we know in our communities. But sometimes it's not. You know, maybe he needs to be taken down a road of looking into this whole thing, and maybe he would come to that conclusion. I don't know. Right? But he is still a regular guy. He's coming around though. I mean, he's looking at people's handwriting now and making assertions. I mean, he's coming around. Who knows what this is going to turn into with him. Intuition Jen, always good stuff, coach. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Very generous of you. Let's go Scotty Miller. Here for all your weird rabbit holes. Go Max, coach. Thank you so much. Did you notice how the background changed from the 501c3 TPUSA to the 501c4 TP Action as soon as she endorsed JD? Even the stage managers know. Rewind and rewatch. I will have to rewatch that. I did not notice that at all. Did anybody else notice that? I did not notice that whatsoever. Please let me know about that if you guys did notice that. That's very interesting that you say that. I mean, that could be a video in and of itself. Why would they do that? Liberty, Tennessee. I assume that stands for Tennessee. Greg Locke made a name defying some kind of lockdowns. I don't recall. So I visited and didn't like the vibes. Then a year later, he popped up. Oh, you're just saying all the things, huh? He claimed to be pulled into high-rank meeting and new details, obviously an operation. That's very interesting that he, you know, and I wouldn't doubt it. That's what Candace has been talking about in terms of mocking pastor. That's exactly what she's been talking about. That same type of thing. Nicole, once again, shout out to Nicole. This, you know what, Nicole? I understand why you have this number one now. I get it now. You are number one. That's why she wore the glitter pantsuit to endorse JD, the most godly man on earth, married to a Muslim. I think she's Hindu. I'm pretty sure. Because I feel like her and Vivek are from the same place, which is why, if you don't know, actually, his son is named Vivek. He named one of his sons after Vivek. Isn't that weird? Very weird. They went to Yale together. If you know about Yale, then you know. If you know, you know. It's pretty wild. Thank you so much for that. Somebody else donated. I donated twice for caps, and each time had an email Charlie and finally received each of them. Guess I should consider myself lucky. Oh, so another person reaching out for hats, not getting it, but then you ended up getting it. Good. Very weird that that's going on, and that they said they didn't send you bracelets instead. Very odd that started to happen. I wonder why they started to do that. I wonder why they thought that was acceptable to do. You know, just randomly, just like, why not? We'll just send a bracelet. What did he order? He ordered a shirt. Send him a toaster. Yeah, it's fine. Send him a toaster. It's nice. Sign the back of it. Yeah, it'll be fine. Put bread in it. Yeah, a little bonus for him. Put some bread in it, send him a toaster. It's fine. It's like, what? I ordered a hat. Why did I get a bracelet? Very, very odd stuff. ISO Health and Happiness. Coach, go back to Erica at the podium. She has a tail. Please shut her. Oh my God. I feel like she doesn't have a tail. Okay. I'm gonna put it out there, real plain and simple. I know you're feeling like I sold out. I feel like we're not gonna see a tail if we go back to that video. Imagine we do. It has a tail, just like a 6-foot tail just waving. Like that old depiction of the devil, little pitchfork of a tail, little arrow. But I'll consider it. I'll check it out. Okay. Angel's Mama, speaking of Turning Point Plantation, they apparently have a media page now Frontline, powered by Turning Point. Ryan, how do you say that name? Forner? Ryan Forner? Ugh. Oh, get off of here. Don't make her a mod. Okay. Ryan shared a video, shared coverage video of theirs. That's really weird. Okay. I'm going to check that out. I want to see their media page. See how good it is, you know? See what it consists of. What could it actually consist of? Everything is on their YouTube. Anyway, Cooper family, 501c3 is for education only, no politics. 501c4 is for political activities, not supposed to combine the activities and the monies. Interesting. So that's why Wolves and Finance is so on it, because he's really serious about it. Interesting. Nicole, the number one. We're just going to call you Nicole number one from now on. The great Erica, girl. Why did you get that beautiful glitter pantsuit, girl? I need me one, even though you don't care, while wearing the most attention-seeking attire ever. Charlie would not agree. Can you imagine Charlie's looking down? What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Jesus is like, yeah, Charlie, you gotta relax, man. You just gotta relax. We're moving on. Like, you know, you gotta think about, there's other things to think about here. Charlie's just like, come on, man. Look at that. She got a pantsuit on? Glitter? She must have just made that. I ain't seen none of that in the closet. Charlie, you have to relax. I am. Okay? I'm relaxed. Listen, if you don't calm down, God is going to come over here. Well, let him come then. Let him come. I need answers. Can you guys put me back? I need to talk to somebody about this. Went straight to Candace's dreams, you know? Candace, listen to me. She has a pantsuit on. This is ridiculous. They betrayed me, Candace. Now Candace is on a war path because of those dreams. Allison, how do we warn South Korea what happens if they let Rob McCoy? Oh, they know. They know. The public doesn't, but the person, allegedly, the person that runs it, Mina Kim, she knows. She knows what's up. She has to know what's up. You know what I mean? She is the Charlie Kirk of Korea. So she knows. She knows exactly what's going on. Abracadabra, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious coach brings the fire that gets me going in the morning. Have a beautiful day. Stay warm, y'all. I really want to know what's going on with everybody. Barron said he doesn't even know if he's going to be able to go live. I hope he is actually able to go live. We'll see with Candace as well. Candace was unsure of what's going to happen as well. Hopefully she puts something out letting us know what's going on. Coach, have you heard about IMA? Good citizen should be required listening. No, I have no idea who that is. I will look into it. Let's keep going here. Liar. Just wanted you to hear that one more. Hear you say that one more time. You're so funny. Make me laugh out loud. Pod. Every pod. Liar. Okay. That was the last time. I promise. That's so ridiculous. I'm telling you, that's the most MSNBC thing that you could possibly have someone do. What do you think of this person? Well, I mean, I'm just going to answer honestly here. She's a liar, and I just wanted everybody to know, providing no backup for what you're saying whatsoever. I mean, that is just the essence here. I always like to look at the regular chat as well, you know? Hope you guys are having a good time in there. We're going to get some mods. Barron's mods are very serious about modding. They're like talking about building community and like answering questions and all this stuff. I was like, man, I got to ask Barron. For all I know, Barron's going to be like, I don't have any mods. What are you talking about? I just have to check with him. But for Erica, when I lost my sister, my mom consumed herself with work and being busy. It's a defense mechanism. However, doesn't excuse the rest of her wacky behavior. That's true too. Like I didn't deal with my dad. When my dad passed away, I didn't deal with it like everybody else in my family. I kind of just, well, I had to work, but I just kind of worked. I was just like, whatever, man. Like, what can I do? Like, when's the funeral? Okay, that's when the funeral is. Like, I was doing Uber Eats at the time, kind of film and television, but like mostly Uber Eats. And I was just like, okay, I gotta work. Like I don't have time for this. And yeah, I didn't deal with it the best. I didn't deal with gathering all his stuff from his apartment the best. I was just too, I wasn't focused properly. Otherwise, I would have took everything from my ungrateful siblings. Not my brother, because he's amazing. But the other two, I would have been like, give me all this stuff. I'm not taking any of this stuff. I could have. I just didn't do that. And now I'm sad about it because I'm like, I wish I had a bunch of my dad's stuff, like his notes and stuff, and like, but it's like all gone now. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's a defense mechanism. That does make sense. Some people are like that, but I mean, you engross yourself in work, but that's usually when you have work. Like, it's different from being a car salesman. It's different than being someone who's in sales. You're taking on being the CEO of a massive company, one of the biggest organizations in America. I just think, I stick to what I think. I don't think she's running it. I don't think she's making decisions. I think she's just a face. I think she is a emotional pull for everybody to gather around. But I don't think she's running that company. It just doesn't make any sense. Sparky says, Robert Barnes was raised a hardcore Christian Philadelphian. He eventually comes around. Originally, he was pro the other side of Philadelphia. Now he's not. He may change in 6 months. Yeah. We'll see what kind of money he gets to see how he changes. That's what's going to bring about the change. There's not much money in being against it. There's more money in being for it, from what I've seen. Thanks, number one. Once again, Nicole, number one. Thanks, Coach, for being the man that you are. We need more men like you desperately. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Tartarian? Do you guys know about Tartaria? You guys know about that? I should make a video about that one day. Tartarian 123 Wolves in Finance has the most epic sheet eating grin I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. People are so ridiculous when it comes to these things, man. It's so funny. Blue Lioness, Coach, you are a legend. If there's anything I can do to help your channel, please let me know. I can do stuff like graphics and editing, but I can do some stuff like graphics and editing, but I can learn fast if you need something else. First super chat ever. Whoop, whoop. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I have to have people email me, and then I have to gather up those emails to really understand, because I don't even understand what I need. You know what I mean? I don't know what I need the most. I feel like it's a researcher, but then also you need people to work on graphics and things for merch. So I don't even know what I need. I only just got an accountant. I only just got a lawyer that's helping us with everything. Like, it's just, it's hard to know what you actually need, like where your bottlenecks are as a company. Hope Bean says, snowed in and really enjoying the truth and laughter. We are flying with you. Wolves in Finance, keep up the great work. More truth seekers than evil. Christ is king. Snowed in, man. All you can do is dig yourself out. You got to dig yourself out eventually, you know? Sometimes you're snowed in, but it's like you just can't get the car over the hump that the snowplow leaves, kind of thing. Or that hasn't even happened yet, and it's just like so much snow. It was crazy. I mean, from Toronto, Canada, all the way down to Tennessee, it was nuts. Just that one path, that one huge path, which, funny enough, is the exact, my wife was actually pointing this out. When we drive across country, because we always like, we're in Texas, and then we like to drive all the way up. It's north, but I guess like East Coast, you consider it. And it was the exact path that we usually drive, but we're considering driving another way. I don't like California, but I do want to see California. You know, I shouldn't say I don't like the people. I don't like Gavin, but I do want to go to California and just be in there. I have some friends there that I want to see. I would love to meet up with Sam Tripoli. I know him a little bit, but I would love to be able to. Eddie Bravo's out there as well. I would love to meet up with those guys. Keith says merch. Team AMP allegedly, maybe, perhaps. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, we'll work on it. AC Movement says Candace introduced me to Ian. Ian introduced me to Coach. Coach introduced me to Baron. Turning Point introduced me to Wolves of Finance. That is epic. That is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, man, that Streisand effect. He's gonna be over 400,000 subscribers probably today. I mean, I think he was 3,000 away. I would be surprised if he's not there already. Always Be True says, I'm puzzled by Wolves and Finance. He's going max against Turning Point, but is a Philadelphia supporter who hates Candace at the same time. Candace video, Candace Owens is in trouble from August 2025. Yeah, you know, that happens. You know, you don't have to be on the same page with everything, but what's happening to him is he's starting to realize, and once he starts realizing what this machine is and what it's doing to him, once he feels it, he's going to start probably, I don't know, going to start changing his opinion. I guarantee he's going to start changing his opinion. Is he going to change his whole life? No, but he's going to start to realize, okay, if they did this to me, maybe they are really doing this to Candace. He's going to start to be able to see it. Right now, he's feeling it. He's feeling the threat. He's feeling the pending doom. So slowly, he'll start to understand. You know, is he going to be the biggest Candace supporter ever? Like, soon? Probably not. But he's starting to get it. He's really starting to get it, I think. I mean, again, this guy's looking at people's handwriting and said that this is going to be the thing to impeach the president. like very big turn from where his videos were going before. Now he's like, this is the thing. He's like, this guy needs to stop doing this. Like, he's going deep right now. And also, there's some emotional things pent up as well, right? For a company to put you through that kind of thing, and all you did was ask a few questions, and they didn't even consider like reaching out to you or anything, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get pissed. So you have to wait and see, man. Candace was on the left at one point. Thomas Sowell at one point was a confirmed Marxist. Like, people change over time. So that's why I always say you gotta give people room to breathe. You gotta watch people for a while to really understand where they're at. You know, like, I used to love Ben Shapiro. I thought Ben Shapiro was the best, absolutely the best. And then you give them enough time, and then you see what they really are. Same with Balix Tones. You know, you end up seeing who they really are. You got to give it time to breathe. I might become an Antifa member by the time this is all said and done. You know, I might just, lose the hat, wear a pink wig. You don't know. People change, man. I'm kidding. That's not happening with me. Barnes relies too much on third-hand info on issues in his peripheral focus. He should know by experience those are not reliable and keep his mouth shut until he has time to listen to actual podcasts. That's the thing, right? You're being very charitable, whether you realize it or not. You're thinking, oh, this guy just doesn't have the information. I think he does have the information. I think he understands completely. I think you're right in the sense that he doesn't get to listen to an actual podcast, but he knows exactly what's going on. He knows what he's doing. He's there for a purpose. When he and that Viva guy did that podcast, that was for a purpose. That wasn't just random, like, hey, man, you want to sit down for a little bit? Oh, sure, why not? They had an explicit purpose in what they were doing. That's why Viva had the question prepared, and he said he already knew the answer. Because they stepped into that with a mission at hand already. That's why I didn't like that guy that much, because I can see that from a mile away. I see what he's doing. He was there to discredit Wolves and Finance. He was the guy who could say, I'm a lawyer, okay? I have this knowledge. Now I have this authority. I'm putting myself above you and above the person that we're talking about. I'm here to tell you they're a fraud. And I'm not even going to provide information. My stature and what I do is enough that when I tell you they're a fraud, and that's it. Liar. It's like, what? How do you take that seriously? Anyway, 11,000. Let's get to 11,000 likes during this live. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. KRM LKSS. I don't know. What is that? What is that? Kermilks? Is that how that's supposed to, is that a name? Come on, man. Spray in Tans 222. Coach, just got here. West Coast, not crazy, just surrounded by them. Your live stream so early. Do you get more YouTube credit when people watch live? This is my second super chat ever. Missed your first one. No guilt or anything though. Do I get more credit? No. I don't know that I get more credit, but I get to interact with people. And I don't like being in a studio for 10 hours by myself, not talking to anybody, just talking in the camera. I don't like doing that. I really thrive off of interacting with people. I really, really like it. And, you know, when you're deep into content, you're making content every day, there are days where you won't even leave your house. Like I didn't even realize. My wife had to tell me. She's like, you haven't left the house in 3 days. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, it didn't even come to my mind. I get too wrapped up in stuff. So I love to be able to actually converse with people. I didn't start doing this whole thing to just be doing it by myself. I want to build a team. I want to have community. I want to be able to talk to people. It's just me. It's just what I really, really enjoy. Someone says, Shalana Owens. Are you related to Candace? Hey, coach, all seriousness, I rarely listen to George Webb. I stay confused. It seems too deep every single time and no way to keep up. Now he makes music. Are we as in CC Crew Team George? George doesn't like me. George blocked me on both of his X accounts. He says one of them's not him. I don't believe him because they interact the same. And the same misstep that Biden had where his press secretary released something that she was saying and she did it from his account by accident. George Webb had that same thing happen. And I saw it and I called it out and then they blocked me both at the same time, like a minute after each other. So I know what that is. You block one, you go to the up, you click your profile picture, you have another account, you click it again, and then you block again. That's exactly what happened. So I am not Team George, but you can be Team George. You can watch whoever you want because part of being an informed person, an informed citizen, because being informed gives you a certain amount of sovereignty that you need as a citizen. You should listen to whoever you want. You should listen to many different people so you can get a real good feel for what's going on. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't like George. Well, I was asking George a question. I just asked him a question. He was doing weird things when it came to Candace. He was saying very weird things. I just asked him a question about that and he refused to answer. He was answering other people. He was ignoring me. Then he would talk about me in his live streams. It was very, very weird. It was like a fever dream. It was like he wasn't talking to me, but he was talking about me. And then he'd ask a question, but it wasn't to me, but it was in my comment section. It was like, it was the weirdest thing ever. So I just think he's a weird guy. I think he is, a lot of people may not like it. I think he's some kind of agent, honestly. That's why he's everywhere all the time. That's why he's inserting himself into things. That's just what I think, but who knows? Nicole, once again, oh snap, coach, I'm the top fan. Let's get a boom. Is that your thing? My thing's doodle-doodle-doo. Your thing's bum boom. That's what your thing is? Okay. Hey, cool. We all have our things. Anyway, Britannian Foster says Erica Kirk was there an effort to keep her out of a lot public before September 10th. Now it's rock star Erica. You're for sure British, right? Like that's what this is. This is why I'm reading it like this. You're British. He didn't hug her back on election night while crying. Because Charlie was married to the game. He's like, get off me, 2024. Get off me. Get off me. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And was it planned for her to be this rock star? I think when Charlie passed, it was definitely it was definitely a plan of sorts. When Charlie passed, putting her in a position was more of a plan towards public perception than it was towards her being the best CEO and the best person for the job. I mean, come on. There's so many other people that could have done this, that could have stepped in. But, this is why I compare her to Kamala, because I think Kamala wasn't ready for any position that she had. And I think Erica is the same thing. I think she's not ready for that. I think she's just listening to people in the background, and she's not the one making the decisions. She's not the one doing that. There will be front-facing things that she'll do, like going to the White House and meeting with people and being the person that's on Zoom calls saying, hey, you can take time off to grieve, blah, blah, blah. She'll do that, but I don't think she's really running it. Shabbat Shalom. Get to your new home, prison. That's so funny. So funny. Line Sparks? Linea Parks? Is it Linea Sparks? Jesus, Linea. I'm going to call you Linda. Wolves and Finance is on fire. Love them. Somebody else says absolutely nothing with the cutest controller picture. Thank you very much. Whoa. Did more pop up? Is that what just happened? There's more? I literally thought we were at the end, and we're not. How? Whoa. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. Okay. How many popped up? Oh, this is crazy. Guys, I only have till 1 o'clock. You know why I only have till 1 o'clock? I would usually go as long as I want, especially with a stream. I love talking to people. And if this is the video that I'm making for the day, then it's like, why not? But, oh, there we go. Jeez, there's a lot more. Okay. We're like back at halfway now. But I have a gym coming. Okay. I have been, man, just to be a little personal, fatherhood just scared the living everything out of me. Okay. And when I first became a father, I got so scared and I just started eating with my wife. I just started whatever she wanted. We would just eat it together, and I gained so much weight. And now I have to get a gym, and she needs to work out too. And we want to do it as a family. So I'm getting like a full gym set up today. And I have to make sure that I'm there for 1 o'clock, because they're going to come and like actually like set everything up, because I'm getting like a bunch of equipment. And boy, oh boy, when I lose this weight, you guys are going to think I'm a clone. You're going to start looking at my tattoos and being like, oh, the tattoo's not in the same place. Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when I lose this weight and then I'm doing the podcast shirtless? I'm doing the podcast shirtless and I'm like this when I'm reading stuff. Oh, you're not ready for it? I'm going to oil myself up. You guys ready for when I oil myself up? Going to make the guys uncomfortable. Going to make the guys uncomfortable when I oil up. I said that in front of 9,000 people. But yeah, so I gotta be there for the gym, because I'm about to get jerks. You have no idea. You have no idea. I'm bringing my jawline back, baby. I'm bringing my jawline out. Anyway, let's get into it. LA says, Coach, please talk about Matt Walsh disrespected disabled vets last week. Plus, Tim tried to run cover for him days later. We need to apply pressure on Daily Wire, not just with Charlie Kirk. They're evil. Yeah, I heard something about that. I don't know what Matt Walsh actually said. But I'm sure after he said it, Ben Shapiro was like, get back to work, Matt Walsh. Get back to work. Get back to work. Other than I don't know what he said. If he disrespected disabled vets, why did he disrespect vets like that? Why did he do that? If anybody can tell me, please let me know. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Matt Walsh, man. I really thought he'd be gone from the Daily Wire by now. I thought he'd be done. I thought he would just leave. I think it would make more sense. I think he'd be just like Candace. I think his show by himself would blow up. I think it would be effortless for him, really. I don't know why he stays. Maybe he's locked into a contract. I don't know. Maybe he prefers to have a lot of people around. When you go independent, it's hard because it's all on you and you got to figure out a lot of things. You got to wear a lot of different hats. In his position right now, he just kind of shows up. Everything's taken care of. There is a extreme luxury, convenience to that. But I have no idea. I have no idea what he said. Let me know what he said. I've noticed he's had some pretty bad takes. There's young guys like Sneeko that are like ratioing him. Nick, of course, is always going at him. And he doesn't have much recourse back. He doesn't have much to say back. And I also saw, when you said disrespect, I thought you were going to talk about Ben Shapiro disrespecting him, because I saw that clip recently. Ben Shapiro called him a neocon. It was like a live stream, and Ben Shapiro started calling him a neocon. And then Matt's like sitting back like this. And he's like, all the things you can call me. And Ben cuts him off. Yeah. I'm just joking. It was very interesting. I was like, that is crazy. That is nuts. And it just keeps happening. And it's going to keep happening. Hopefully one day he leaves. I would love to see him go off on his own. Amanda, that bums me out to hear about Theo. He's been asking a lot about Philadelphia lately. Hanging out with Candace, really thought he was on the right side. Well, I mean, like, again, people are they vary quite a bit in terms of themselves, you know. He is very much like that, like what I said about taking people and making sure to take them offline, not take them offline, but copyright strike them. He does that. That's like a thing that I know he does. Too Lazy to Try has talked about it on video. I've talked to Too Lazy to Try privately when he was asking my advice on what to do about certain things. And yeah, it's just a thing he does. He doesn't like being criticized. Last time when Mark Maron, I don't know if you know about this whole thing, but Mark Maron actually said a bunch of stuff about Theo Von and actually made a joke about him on stage in his new comedy special. And Joe Rogan revealed that it sent Theo Von into a spiral, like a downward spiral. Apparently he gets depressed a lot. He gets sad a lot. So I get it. Like, I don't like criticism either. But he takes it to a pretty far extent. He's very strict when it comes to the copyright stuff. And honestly, I mean, he breaks the law. Like, when you copyright people for no reason, you are breaking the law. And your channel can be deleted for that if you can make a strong enough case. If he goes through with what's going on right now and says, hey, just so you know, like if he tries to do a lawsuit right now with me, and I win, the next move would be his channel getting deleted. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they like him. Maybe they don't. I have no idea. But, I don't know why he would push it to such a far extent. It doesn't make any sense. I even said in the letter that I had to send off, because you have to send like a legal proceeding letter. I said, I'll unlist the video. Like, I don't care. But it's like the strike, that's not good for me to have on my channel, right? It's bad. It hurts. It hurts your channel. It hurts the trust that they have for your channel. So I'm like, I'll unlist it. I have no problem doing that. But it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I'm like you. We know the same people. Like, why are you doing this? But this is what he does. It's a weird thing. Very weird thing. All Seeing Eye on X pic of my cat. What? Why are you talking in signs? Hey, stop sending me riddles, guys. I can't solve riddles on the fly like this. You got to give me time for a riddle. Michelle says, not much for Zach to fix, in my opinion. Did I say that right? I feel like I'm having a stroke. Not much for Zach to fix, in my opinion. I think Turning Point is simply scared S-less and should have thought about Candace before they allegedly. Come on, Michelle. Can't say that about Turning Point. They've done nothing wrong. All they did is create Mikey McCoy. And if that's what they've done, then all other things should be forgiven. He walked away for our sins, you understand. Carla P says, do you think Candace is investigating if Charlie's kids are with Charlie's parents? Imagine if Charlie left a note to his parents asking them to take care of the kids because he knew something. I don't know about that. People are saying that Erica lost her kids. I don't think she actually did. That wouldn't make any sense. I feel like that would be massive news. But maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't be massive news. But I feel like it would be huge if all of a sudden she lost them. I feel like there would be more proof to it. And I don't know that his parents, and I could be wrong about this, I don't know if his parents would have any say in that, if they could be the ones to step in. Like, if there's a parent who is probably very well taken care of from his life insurance, and she's of sound mind, which she seems to be for the most part, I don't know if the parents could step in and say, hey, we want the kids. I would love to know what they think of her. I would love to know that. That would be a very interesting thing to hear about. But I don't know. I don't think she lost her kids. But anything's possible. There's been a lot of crazy things happening this month. This past 4 months, 5 months now. Parker says, my opinion, it was meant to be nonpartisan. Charlie Kirk valued truth and helped young Americans with strong values. If things changed, he'd follow the truth over the party. We saw his tune was shifting from theirs. That's true. That is true. And maybe that's what Charlie thought was going on. Again, Candace has said this before. It's so hard to keep track of all these people. Really hard to keep track of all these people. I don't know, man. I think there's a lot he didn't know about. I mean, it's just too much to keep track of. It's just too much. Too much. You just wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what events were being held in your name overseas. You just wouldn't know. Money's being transferred, this, that. They're just things you wouldn't be able to keep track of. He was a human being. It's so hard to keep track of all that stuff. What is this? Is this an MAK every day? Fine. Okay. I thought that was like a full name, and I got pissed. I got real pissed, but it's not. I apologize. You should outlet make some merch. You should, I feel like I'm having a stroke. You should outlet make some merch, a tee or hoodie with 3 lines stating allegedly, maybe, perhaps. That is the plan. That is the plan. That is 100% what I'm going to be doing very soon. I already have a printer that prints all of our shirts right now. It used to be me, but now we actually have a company do it. So yeah, that's the plan. But I have to come up with the designs. That's why I'm looking for a designer. I'm not looking for someone who can sell the shirts for me or print them up. I'm looking for someone who can design what is in my mind. That's what I'm really looking for. Would you please explain the Philadelphia reference and mint jokes to me, Marnie? Well, there's a place in the Middle East. Could be Saudi Arabia. Could be Qatar. Could be Lebanon. Could be any place. And this place, we're not allowed to talk about this place for some reason. So I call it Philadelphia. And the mint jokes, we're just making jokes about mint. Don't worry, you're not missing anything. Yeah, it's not even a code for anything. When we talk about mints on this channel, we are truly talking about mints. We are talking about keeping our breath fresh. We are taking a page from Brian Harpole's book, and we believe in the angels that come and bestow mints upon us. That's all we're talking about. Okay. PR Barker says, you crack me up every day. Nobody does a better impression of Harpole than you. Thanks for all your hard work and laughs. God bless. And take some mints with you. Hey girl, go ahead, take some mints with you on this one. All right. I really thank you for that. You understand? I really lean into the George Bush Jr. when I do a Harpole impression. You understand? Because that's what you really got to do. You want to accentuate it a little bit, And then when the mints come, you just yum, 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 and you got those mints with you. You understand? I have 4 people who hand me mints on a regular basis, and they got the same tattoo as me. You understand? And I know they got me. Okay. It was so crazy. That interview was so crazy. He has the tattoo. We all have the same tattoos. What? Huh? As soon as you work for my company, you get the tattoo. Huh? What? Say again? Could you imagine you work for his company, you get some tattoo, 6 months later, you get fired? Hey, bro, I got the tattoo. What are you talking about? And they're just like, I'm sorry, we have to let you go. What? I got my butt cheeks tattooed for you guys. What is going on right now? We didn't tell you to do that, okay? Brian did. I did. I told him. I did. No, that's my mess up. I did tell you to do your butt cheeks. I apologize for that. I just thought writing mints and then having a little mint right there on both your booty cheeks, I thought that would be great, okay? And I think it looks great, and I think it's a parting gift for you, okay? Okay? I'm sorry about that, you know? Zach and Candace and Zach should be the new FBI directors. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. Humans drink the water. Oh, humans do drink the water. Humans always drink water. Liquids. He's talking about Mark Zuckerberg. Jet Guy, allegedly, maybe, perhaps, is the new Hail Mary prayer that keeps Philadelphia lawyers away. The silver built into werewolves. Oh, you say a bullet. You're talking in code there. Thank you very much. The silver bullet to werewolves, the new garlic to vampires. Thank you so much for that. The lore continues to expand when you do things like that. I really do appreciate it. Did your Candace reading someone comments say, hold on, am I the one that's bro, did your Candace reading someone comments say it? They said Philadelphia and she went along like she know about Philadelphia. Okay. Yes, that is what happened. That is 100% what happened. She read it and she just kept on going like she knew exactly what Philadelphia was. And I was shocked. I was like, this is weird. How does she know? Bro keeps saying Locke and it's Gary Laurie. Two different creeps. Yeah, because I'm talking about Greg Locke. What are you talking about? What? I'm talking about Greg Locke. I'm talking about the pastor Greg Locke. I'm not talking about Gary Laurie. So hey, man. Hey, catch up. Hey, catch up. Okay? All right? Catch up. No, I'm kidding. But I'm talking about Greg Locke. Greg Locke is the one that threatened Candace. He said she has a very small window to repent for her sins and delete all of her videos. And he's been going after her for quite some time. So, and now you have me very scared that I was pulling up different videos the whole time. No, I was not. There we go. There's the video. See, that's Greg Locke. That's who we were talking about. Why do that to me, man? Why do that to me? Huh? You okay? Anyway, let's keep going. Appreciate the super chat though, of course. So yeah, that's who I was talking about. I'm not talking about Greg Laurie. I already talked about Greg Laurie, just in case you didn't know. Always my indie. Really? Okay. Always my indie. Your comedy and content are pure gold. The other day you said, if you hang out with people for more than an hour, it's going to get weird. I laugh so hard. Eventually we're going to go down the road. Like, what do we talk? We got to talk about the things, of course. Can you define often again? Share your link to the glossary. No, explained often enough. Okay. There's Mortal Kombat. Sorry. Now you got me messed up. There's Mortal Kombat Ultra. And then there is often. There was first Mortal Kombat Ultra, and then it turned to often, and a couple of other offshoots. But it's one of the offshoots where they studied witchcraft more than anything. Let's keep going here. I got like 3 minutes left. Okay, 3 minutes left. Yeah. I got to make sure nobody called me. I got this gym coming, you know. Got to make sure nobody called me. James Lee from 5159 is also doing great work. He belongs in the superhero memes as well. James speaks mints too. Yeah, James is great. James is great. He got let go from Breaking Point for some reason. I don't know what he did, but he got let go is probably because he goes max. He goes really max. He's a really good guy. I first learned about that guy from Ian. Ian always showing love to people that he likes a lot, and he did that same thing with James Lee back in the day. probably like a year, maybe 2 years ago on X. That's how I learned about James Lee. But yeah, he does great work. A lot of great work. Locke got bodied by Pastor Dean Oldell. Oh yeah, I saw they were beefing. I saw a video of this in a biblical cosmetology debate at his own church. He lost so bad, he kicked Dean out of his church mid-debate. Never thought I'd hear his name again. Great work, CC. That's crazy. That's crazy. Kicked him out mid-debate. Wow, that means you won. That means you won in the worst way. That's crazy. That Pastor Dean guy is wild too. I've seen some of his sermons. I'm like, wow, this guy is he's just doing a podcast. The things he talks about, it's just wild. Let's keep going here. Annie says, Bassett is the smoking gun. Shields TP IRS status for merger. Man in plain window. I feel like you're trying to like activate a sleeper cell right now with how you're writing here. Man in plain window is ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt. Rebrand secret project Eagle 83 uses. What are you? I understand what you're saying. Uses 50 CFR 22 Eagle permits on Farnsworth land to test AI drones. Jesus, that is a lot. You need a podcast, whoever you are. Annie, you need a podcast. Okay, breaking that down. Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt's an interesting guy. You ever look into Eric Schmidt? He's a very, very interesting dude. But yeah, you say Bassett is the smoking gun. I mean, that's Wolves in Finance doesn't think that, but I think he might come to that conclusion. Oh man, it's 1:00. I'm going to get a call. I know I am. I'm going to get a call very, very soon. We all need you to get a second channel for these amazing sketches that you're live stream that are live in your head. You should call it maybe, allegedly, perhaps. No, we can't call it that. Can't call it that one. We could call it allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Okay, believe you me, we don't want that other acronym. That's not a good acronym to have. I gotta make sure. Ivan is Ivan. I think I saw you on X, Ivan. I think I saw you on X. Make sure to tell me when they get here, please. Love you. Not you, Ivan. I wasn't talking to you. Ivan says, great way to start the day. Coach Coffee and Truth Mints. When the lies just taste like Gary's streams, for the win. Oh, that's what it means. It means for the win. FTW. Oh, Crisis King. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for telling me that. See, I feel so old. I should have known that. How do I not know that? Rocket, keep following the money in Minneapolis. They're trying to create distress. They're trying to create the distressing. Okay, I understand. I get what you're saying. My wife answer? You're going to have to move the car. Okay, of course. Okay, I will, honey. I think she's watching. Thank you, honey. Elk, about Eric. I feel like you mean Erica. Okay. About Erica waiting on the tarmac over an hour for Andrew Colvette, maybe to get their story straight and back on track before they speak to the authorities. Damn. That is, maybe, allegedly. Oh man, BLB, be like Baron, screenshot comments you don't want to forget. Love your show. Is that what he does? Okay. I'm learning a lot from Baron. Baron said he learns a lot from me from watching my show. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. I don't know what he learned, but he learned something, he claims. So I don't know what it was, but he says he learned something, but I'm learning a lot from him. Vanessa, shout out to Baron. I heard he shouted me out on his live stream yesterday. Thank you so much. Vanessa says, hi, coach. This is the first super chat. Candace, Baron, Wolves in Finance, and you are all the full package. Thank you for your insights, your passion, content, and comedy. You rock. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Oh, man. Get back to work, Tatum. Get back to work. Get back to work. Yeah, he does have to get back to work, honestly. You sent me a meme on Instagram. I will check it out. I will check it out. Send them on X, though, because I'll repost them right away. Greg Locke is evil, and that is disrespectful to the word of God. As a kid, I was told never to abuse the Bible. We weren't even allowed to lay something on top of it. That's true. That's true. I know about all that. All right, guys, I have to get going. I really do. Guess where I'm from, Coach? Take a wild guess. I don't know. How would I know where you're from, number one, Nicole? Oh, Nicole, it turned into number two. What happened? Oh no. You said they don't know which hats have bomb residue on them. Oh yeah, the hats with the bomb residue. I heard about that. They're never gonna figure that out. Those guys left with those hats, and they might have washed them by now. They might have thrown them away by now. I mean, if they were ready to steal the hats, they probably don't care about them all that much. Celtic Warrior Poet. Gotta make sure they haven't come. Celtic Warrior Poet, Coach, fellow Irishman here, tagged and appreciate you. Some X posts off of my membership, channel membership. Members equals filibusters. Flying Max, my brother from a different mother, volunteering to be a mod for you. Thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate that. Let's keep going here. Just really quick. Thanks, you're amazing. For the win means for the win in gamer world. In real life, it means F the world. Ah, okay. Different generations, different meanings. F the world has to be from Generation X for sure. We should do a GoFundMe and to make and send hats. That would be actually very nice. Love your work. Thank you so much. Coach, what does this stand for? Oh, I love you. Okay, thank you. Discernment went off the first Erica Kirk speech. Erica Kirk rabbit hole alone. Freaked myself out from Lori to the taxes. So glad it's all being exposed. Yeah, there's so much. And then somebody's telling me, Nicole says, for the win. Thank you very much, Nicole. Somebody else says absolutely nothing. And then we'll make this the last one for now. Don't worry, I will find the rest of them for next time. And Snowblow. Oh yeah, oh man. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Donnie Sykes, 1999. Now that some time has passed, we have perhaps a plethora of perhaps alleged evidence. What do you think possibly allegedly happened to Charlie, and who's responsible? I love your show. Try the black background. No, I'm not trying a black background. It's crazy. I'm going to fade into it. It's just going to be my head. I'm going to look like a floating head. That's what I look like when I had a black chair. Yeah, what I think happened, I think this is a good place to end it too. I think that there were many people involved. I think people don't understand how powerful Charlie was. He had the ear of the person who runs the country, and he was able to override what Bibi was saying, and he actually made it so the attack on Iran didn't happen. That was him flexing his power. That might have been where his days were numbered when he did that. He also had power over conservative influencers, the pillars of the conservative movement. He also had power over the young generation of voters who are only going to get older, and he would only keep having more power over those younger generations. Then he also had power over the Christian movement, which Turning Point Faith was. He had so much power and so much influence that people don't know behind the scenes, that I think he had the intel pissed off. I think he might have even had the press pissed off. I think he had a lot of people who were pissed off about him and his power and how he was wielding it. And they realized that if this guy gets into power, he will become, we always call JFK the last real president. He would have revived that and became a real president. And he had a good idea of what to do, and he was super smart, and I don't think they'd be able to stop him. I think he's the one thing that would have really, really changed the country. And I think that's why he got taken out at the end of the day. Plus his views of Philadelphia were shifting. And I think what better thing to do with somebody than immortalize them as your biggest supporter right before they change all their views. If he had lived another year, it would make no sense to take him out. It makes no sense to take Candace out or Tucker, these people, because then they're immortalized in their views. And then that makes more people stand up. Anyways, guys, I have to get going. Please say bye in the chat. Say bye, 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 bye. Say bye in the chat. I have to get going. I will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. CST, 10 a.m. EST. We will be back again and again and again. Candace is going to be going live. I'm just typing bye over and over again in the chat. Candace is going to be going live. I can't wait to see what she has to say. We will cover it all tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We hit 11,000 today. The new goal is now 13,000. Actually, no, don't put that evil out there. We're going to do 14,000. That's the new goal. Please help me do that. I really, really appreciate it. And I will get to those other super chats soon. Again, sorry to go early, but I got to get some stuff done because I'm on the way to getting jacked. You have no idea what's about to happen. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I have to head out of here. Take it easy. See you soon.